in the game last week that they could score.
West, they're knocking Oak Park down to 0-2 on the shotgun formation with Myra.
And it's caught by Chris Harris. Oh no, he dropped. No, they're going to call that one incomplete. There also was a one in for Harris, but I like that right off the rip for the Liberty North. Might have just barely slipped that one.
The official standing at the 40-yard line.
It was just that. It was clearly a push off. That's why I got this. I talked about a couple of interceptions a week ago.
After the field position, after the kick, 15-yard line.
Yeah, and I mean, it's first and 20 free plays to get this first down and 4 if you're really feeling good.
So it's going to be first and 25. 2 receivers out to the far side, 1 out to the near side.
Hand off to the running back heading back the opposite by Liberty North as they were.
And make that a lot. Matovi's going to line up to the near side. Edwards in shot. Receiver, he's just got to keep it himself and run at him at West.
Good pressure there, Bosch, from the tackle to get out there. A prayer here. You might as well go back to Harris. Safety help. It looks like a lot of man coverage here, one-on-one possibilities for the Titans.
And there's a late substitution for Lee Summit West. There is the flag, and the pass is caught by Harris at the 35, and he'll go down at the 31. But Lee Summit West, they're going to get called for late substitution. You saw right there on the near sideline, it looked like.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
Like one of the guys stepped in just late.
Yeah, exactly. It's exactly what happened. It was a late substitution and another brutal call and a misstep there for the Titans on this opening drive. I mean, they didn't get the first down on that play, but once again, they've had 2 plays that they went downfield, and one they almost got, but they had the pass interference on, and now this one, another positive gain, took it away with a late substitution. So just not the cleanest start to this football game for the Titans, where it should be a close competitive game. You got to execute, and you got to execute early, and they've not done that thus far. As they're still talking over this penalty, but it's going to be on the Titans. It's going to back them up, and I should have another third down opportunity, though, if they want it. No, they're going to decline it.
And then now they're going to call it legal man downfield.
Yeah, so it might have been one of those linemen just got too far upfield on that pass play. But, yeah, I mean, that was definitely an illegal, so it had to be a late substitution.
Split out wide on both sides, 25. But unfortunately for Lee Summit West, it won't be enough for the first down, and now they're going to have to punt it back to Liberty North as they'll get ready for their first drive. So standing back.
Liberty North team, they are 0-2. Week 1, they were at Blue Springs South, and they dropped that one by a score of 49-28. And last week, they were home against Liberty, unable to win that one too, losing by a score of 38-22. So they're still looking for their first win on the season, and a good opportunity to get on the scoreboard early in this one.
As we take a look at this Liberty North offense, now they're running a 2-quarterback system, so you're going to see both Isaac Hamilton and Brennan Smith lining up under center tonight for Liberty North, and they're going to begin their first drive at their own 48. And it's a handoff up the middle to Cheaton, and he's going to get all the way up to the Lee Summit West 46. It'll be a gain of 5, and it'll bring up 2nd and 5.
Yeah, and I think we're going to see a lot of Cheatman in this one. Really, their star player on offense for the Eagles coming into this game. He has just under 200 all-purpose yards, and he leads the team with 3 touchdowns. So I like to see them give him the rock early in this one, get settled into this one. You just watched the Titans with a couple of rough plays. I like the run right off the bat.
2 receivers split out wide on both sides. Quick pass to the left side, and it's caught at the 43. It's enough for the first down, and he'll get pushed out of bounds right at the Lee Summit West 38-yard line. Now, starting out under center for Liberty North is the junior quarterback Isaac Hamilton, standing tall at 6'3", 195 pounds. And like I said, you're going to see a little bit of Brennan Smith tonight as well, because if you look at what they've done the last 2 games, and they've really gotten both hand formation as the previous play. Hamilton takes the snap in the shotgun formation. He's going to keep it himself up the middle and gets a gain of 3 as he'll get tackled at the 35.
Yeah, I mean, so far into this year for the Eagles, they have not really found their running back. It was the right call.
Gain of 4. They'll bring up
what he was looking at on that one.
They'll bring up
what he was looking at on that one. swing.
Pass. He's going to keep it up the middle, and he's going to get close to the first down marker. Past the 30 to the 25. Past the 30 to the 25, 20, and he'll get tackled right at the 18. But a late 5-20, and he'll get tackled right at the 18. But a late.
Hamilton, he was under a lot of pressure in the pocket. But yeah, it's going to come back on that holding call. I think they're going to be the right guard, I believe, on the Eagles left back.
Nation Cheatham lining up too is bring up fourth down.
Receiver was Jackson Proden.
Bring up fourth down.
Receiver was Jackson Proden. Just a little credit needed, but
split out 22-yard line. And hello, everybody. We apologize for the delay. We're experiencing some technical difficulties at the moment, but hopefully you all can hear us just fine. My name is Austin Eckert. Alongside with me is Cade Ricketts, and as you saw right there, if you guys could catch it.
yeah, it was an interception by the Titans. A very big play to swing the momentum back to the Titans here. I mean, it was a first down and I would say about 15 to go now for Liberty North to strike for a touchdown. It was a methodical opening drive for them with a 4th and 4 completion. Now the Titans are back on offense.
So we're back rolling here at Lee Summit West High School, and hopefully you all can hear us just fine. And 1st and 10.
Yeah, I like the run there, though, by the Titans. Obviously, last drive, they had a couple of plays and flags work against them. They watched Liberty North go out there and just kind of run the ball a few times, get settled into this game, and I think that's exactly what the Titans need to do, just slow down here a little bit, get a couple of positive plays, and then try to take that deep shot.
It's a handoff play to Rollison, and nowhere to go, and he is swarmed by a sea of gold and blue.
Yeah, Liberty North, great play call there. The safety and the linebacker both walked up right into the lane that the running back was trying to shoot through. Looked like the defensive coordinator by the Eagles.
So similar formation as the previous play. 3rd and 8. Edwards mark him down back at maybe the football back.
From the eve for that kind of pressure. And now watch the punt block here as they're going to try to see if they can steal some points.
And ouch, gets this punt away, and it's going to bounce out of bounds.
On that one, I just said they sent the all-out block to try to stop that one in the end zone. Of course, if you block the punt and land on it there, it's an easy touchdown. But instead, it's going to be roughing the kicker on the Eagles. So a big-time call here. And we'll see what that does for the Titans.
And we'll see if it can juice up the Titan offense here. I mean, you go back to their game, and the week before, opportunities for at least 54 points and had an impressive showing.
Yeah, I mean, Oak Park definitely got it put on them last week by the Titans. I mean, anytime you're putting up a 50 burger on anybody, but they got bailed out there by the roughing and the punter. So another fresh start here for this Titans offense. See if they can get it going.
And Rollison's going to keep it up the middle, and he'll get.
Yeah, Rollison with a nice run there. Trying to just get any amount of real estate, walking their linebackers down to the line of scrimmage, showing blitzes, playing in the box. You got to see if you can get something over the top on them.
Harris is going to be sent in motion. Edwards fires, and it's tipped. Looked like Jacob Taylor.
I don't know if it would have been the first.
Territory. Fine. That's going to mark him out just before
the sideline around that 30. He just kind of ran by everybody, so we'll see where they marked him out because it looks like it's going to be a way back from where initially. And there's also a flag on it too, so the flag's going to be an illegal block on the return. So they're going to be starting clear back at their own.
And Hamilton's going to keep it to the left side for only a gain of maybe 5 yards right there. Hello, folks. I'm Austin Eckert. Alongside with me is Cade Ricketts, and we're trying to figure out some technical difficulties at the moment, but hopefully you can all hear us just fine, and hopefully you all are tuning in fine as well. So 3rd and 2 coming up. Isaac Hamilton lining up the shotgun formation. Cheatham's going to get the handoff. No, it's going to be Hamilton on the keeper, and he's going to get close to the goal line. Does he get in? Yes! Touchdown, Liberty North. Isaac Hamilton runs it in from 11 yards out. And there's your first score of the evening.
Yeah, I mean, we definitely had some technical difficulties, but it looks like we might be settling in now. Hamilton with the quarterback keeper there. He'd done that a handful of times already in this game, but that time all the way for them. A lot of Hamilton scrambling for the Eagles in this one, and it's been definitely successful.
And the kick is up and good. And finally, we've got our first score of the evening. Isaac Hamilton runs it in from 11 yards out to make the score 7-0. We'll go ahead and step aside for a brief commercial break, but we'll be back here in just a moment.
My name is Bree McNally. I am actually a server downtown at Grunauer. Our 15-year-old son was in an automobile accident and he was taken by ambulance to Children's Mercy Hospital. So when I called Eric, he just, was upfront about everything, let me know what the process would be. So Eric was easy to communicate with. I could Facebook Messenger him, call the office, text him, and he was always super responsive and handled everything in a timely manner.
Hello, everybody. I'm Austin Eckert. Alongside with me is Cade Ricketts, and hopefully you all are tuning in right now, and hopefully you can hear us just fine. We've been working through some technical difficulties. We do apologize for that. We just had a little bit of internet issues, but hopefully you can all hear us just fine. And as you saw just a moment ago, Isaac Hamilton ran it in from 11 yards out. And Liberty North here leads it 7-0 as they're looking for their first win of the season. And Lee Summit West, they're looking to get their second win of the season and their first home win.
Yeah, and I mean, technical difficulties are always frustrating, so sorry to you guys out there. We were trying one thing and another thing, just trying to get it live for you guys and you fans at home that are tuning in. We appreciate you spending your Friday night with us. We know that's not fun to go through those technical difficulties when you're just trying to watch some football. So hopefully we can settle into this one. It's still only 7-0 Liberty North. A lot of football left as we're just right about the end of the first quarter.
And a little pooch kick, and I think Liberty North is going to try and recover it. Do they fall on top of it? We'll see. There's a swarm of gold and silver jerseys trying to fight for the ball around the 37. And I think they're going to – I don't think Liberty North's going to get it. So Lee Summit West, they come up with the recovery, and they're going to have excellent field position to start their fourth drive of the game.
Yeah, it looked like possibly a pooch kick, onside kick there for the Eagles, and I like it, an aggressive move. You just got the touchdown, trying to get more points on the board. But the flip side of that, when you're aggressive, is they're giving this Titans offense great starting field position. This is the best starting field position. Matter of fact, this is the furthest upfield the Titans have had the football all game. So this is a nice opportunity for this Lee Summit West offense to try to tie this game back up at 7 apiece.
So just to quickly recap what's gone on in this game here in the first quarter, because obviously the stream for you guys has been a little choppy and it's been hard to keep up. So Lee Summit West starts with the ball, and then they punt it away. Liberty North drives down the field, or they get a few plays, and then they have to punt the ball away eventually, and then Lee Summit West gets the ball back. They have to punt it away, but then they get the ball back after a roughing the kicker penalty, and then they just failed to convert on that opportunity, and they had to punt it away again, and Liberty North was able to drive down the field off of and get an 11-yard touchdown from their quarterback, Isaac Hamilton, and that will end the first quarter. So we'll go ahead and step aside for right now. So it seems like we're up and running finally. So, again, we certainly apologize for the technical difficulties, and I understand it's very frustrating when all you're trying to do is just tune in and listen and watch the game, but you can't hear or listen to anything. It's obviously very frustrating for the both of us, right? So, with that being said, we'll go ahead and step aside, and we'll be back here in just a moment. 7-0, Liberty North leads it. We're live in Lee Summit, Missouri on the campus of Lee Summit West High School as the Titans again are looking for their first home win of the season after getting a huge 54-17 victory over Oak Park last week on the road. 2nd and 5, and it's a handoff play to Rollison as he bounces out to the outside, and he might get a gain of 1, maybe nothing right there as Liberty North, they were ready for the run play.
Yeah, and a low snap kind of threw off the timing there between Rollison and quarterback Dawson Edwards, but a positive play nonetheless. It could have been a bad, that snap almost skipped in there on Edwards, so just positive yards. A 3rd and 5, 3rd and manageable now for Lee Summit West, trying to cross the midfield point for the first time this game.
And now 3rd and 5 coming up for the Titans. And they've been struggling to convert on 3rd downs here in this game so far. 3 receivers split out wide to the near side. Edwards is going to drop back to pass. He's going to roll out to his right, fire it, and it's caught right at midfield, and it will be enough for a first down. And the pass was caught right there by Life Byers. And we do have a whistle after the play. I don't know if there was a flag thrown at the very end of the play, but it looks like this is going to be coming back on Lee Summit West. Just tell me what you saw.
They're going to call holding there on Lee Summit West. It was great initial pressure up front from that Liberty North defensive line that's been getting after it all night tonight, and once again drawing the penalty. So 3rd down, and it's going to be about 15 now. So a lot longer now for this Titans, and we were talking about it. They've had a lot of 3rd and longs so far in this game. Finally had a 3rd and short, able to get it, and then took it away with a penalty. They've been penalized a handful of times in this one. Still trying to get some calls to go their way early in this one.
So after the penalty, it'll bring up 3rd and 15. Liberty North here leads at 7-0 with 11 minutes to go here in the second quarter. 2 receivers split out wide to the far side, and incomplete. Just it looked like Edwards tried to swing it out wide to Chris Harris on the screen play, but just missed timing right there by Edwards, and it'll bring up 4th down.
Yeah, so they tried to sell the hard play action to the running back, and then Edwards is going to roll out to his right and then just toss it back to the running back, trying to make people abandon him after they realize he doesn't have the ball, but an offline pass there, and I don't know how much they would have gained on that one regardless. It's definitely going to force the punt now on 4th and 15 for the Titans. So once again, another unsuccessful offensive series for this West offense. And I mean, this has got to be frustrating because we talked about it week 1, they only scored 6 at home, and then on the road at Oak Park last week they put up over 50 points and still trying to find their offensive rhythm at home so far this season.
And Neal's going to take it on the return after the line drive punt by Aiden Alch, and he'll get all the way up to the Liberty North 45. And that's where the Eagles will begin their first drive here in the second quarter. And if you go back to their previous drive, they were able to punch it in for 6. Of course, tack on the extra point thanks to an 11-yard touchdown run by the junior quarterback Isaac Hamilton. We haven't seen Brennan Smith come into the game, the other junior quarterback on the roster for Liberty North, and we talked a little bit in that first quarter if we were able to get this across, with all the technical difficulties and stuff like that. You're going to see a 2-quarterback system likely here tonight, unless they just roll with Hamilton all game long. But the Eagles, they do get Brennan Smith involved quite a bit, and we'll see if he comes out onto the field here in the second quarter. But for now, it's been all Isaac Hamilton here for the Liberty North offense. Here's a handoff to the left side, and he's going to bounce outside to the 40, to the 30, to the 25, and he'll go down right around the 22-yard line. Zamar Cheaton again on the call. Gets a big-time carry, and a flag is thrown late at the 38.
Yeah, it's going to go against the Eagles holding. It's going to erase what would have been an amazing run there by Cheatham. We just talked about it. He got the edge, made a couple people miss, and then he was finally cut down by Panto and forced out of bounds, but it's not going to stand. So both of these offenses getting explosive plays wiped off the boards, back-to-back drives due to these holding calls. It was 3rd and 5 for the Titans, a drive ago. They got the first down, holding takes it away. This time, a big-time run wiped away.
Yeah, you've seen some holding calls already here for Liberty North, just killing them here on these drives, but it'll be 1st and 4 at the Lee Summit West 49-yard line. And Smith is in the game. He's going to drop back to pass, and he's going to fire the pass over the middle, and he's going to come down with the catch. It looks like it'll be enough for the first down. And Brennan Smith completing that pass to Treshundan Neal, the guy that you saw on that punt return. Take it back all the way up to the Liberty North 45 for a decent return.
Yeah, Neal has showed a handful of times in this game that he's got speed, and right there took the one-on-one, just had to beat the safety deep and got him on an inside post, and a great throw there, right on the money.
2 receivers split out wide to the far side, one out to the near side. 1st and 10. Brennan Smith in the game. And he'll keep it himself to the right side as he'll get all the way up to the 22 for a gain of 3.
Yeah, it was a good read there by Smith. I mean, on that handoff to Cheatham, he decided to keep it on the option. Toombs, the linebacker for the Titans, had walked up right on that left side, kind of forcing them which way they wanted to send that read option. So it was the right call, but just a couple of yards there on first down. But so far for any of these teams, an offensive play without a holding call is success.
So after the gain of 2 by Brennan Smith, it'll bring up 2nd and 8 at the Lee Summit West 23. 9 minutes to go here in the first half. 3 receivers split out wide to the near side. And another handoff here to Cheaton. Trying to fight his way around a bunch of Lee Summit West defenders. Trying to make something out of nothing, and he'll get all the way up to the 18. A decent carry right there, a gain of 5.
Yeah, Cheatham with the carry. He's looked very slippery all night long, and that's nothing different there. Making a handful of guys miss. This is one of those plays he probably ran for about an extra 5 yards than he even gained, just making people miss in his lanes. But it's going to bring up a 3rd and short now, and a big 3rd and short for this Eagles. You got to think if they don't get it here, they'd go for it on 4th. So possibly maybe take a shot here on 3rd and short and then run it on 4th and short to get that first down. Because so far the run has been very effective for Liberty North.
3 receivers bunched out to the near side here on 3rd and 2. A wide receiver screen play out to Neal. A flag is thrown, and Neal's going to find his way into the end zone for a touchdown. But hang on for a second. This could be coming back here on the Eagles. And we talked about these penalties that have really hurt Liberty North, especially on this drive. And this one might be coming back.
It's going to be holding on Xavier Scott, number 10. And Xavier Scott can't believe it. I mean, just a bubble screen there. He's going to try to land the block, but just held on for a little bit too long. And the scariest part about that one is I'm not sure that holding really impacted that touchdown. So not needed. Should have been touchdowns going to be wiped off the board. An unlucky break there for Liberty North. And, man, it's literally almost every other play there's a holding call. And these officials, and it's not one way or one-sided. This is for both these teams, but they are letting the flags fly, and they are not letting one holding call go.
Yeah, no, for sure. I think, as an official, when you're making a call, in their minds, you got to make the call. You can't just throw the flag out all, willy-nilly just because, you got to make sure that there is a call to make. And like you said, the flags have been flying around all evening long here in the first quarter. So now after the penalty, it'll bring up 3rd and 9. 8:01 to go here in the second quarter. Smith dropping back to pass, rolling out to the near side. He's going to keep it himself. He's going to get all the way up to the 20 for a gain of 4. It won't be enough for the first down as he had to get all the way up to the 15 for the first. And it'll bring up 4th down. It'll be interesting to see what Liberty North decides to do here on 4th down.
Yeah, I think you go for it, especially only up by 1 score. But let's take it back to that play a second ago. What a heads-up play there by Smith. I mean, you got to be kidding me. Toombs comes screaming through from his linebacker position, kind of showed late on a blitz, slipped right through, right in the face of Smith. But Smith able to evade that initial blitzer, get to the outside, and get positive yards out of it. That could have been a big-time sack for Lee Summit West and a big momentum switch. But now 4th and 5, a big-time play.
2 receivers split out wide on both sides. Proden in motion. Smith fires to the right side. It's caught. Enough for the 1st down. And he'll get past the 10-yard line. It'll set up shop for 1st and goal.
Yeah, just good play design there by the Eagles. They just send that player, they send that player in a jet sweep. He's open on the flat, which makes the linebacker kind of shift to his right, just creating the window for Smith to kind of thread the needle in there for the 1st down. So great play design and this zone coverage, allowing a receiver to find that open spot.
And Xavier Scott on the reception puts Liberty North at the 9-yard line, 1st and goal. Cheatham again gets the call, finding his way up the middle, and he'll get pushed back to the 8-yard line, but I think the officials will give him forward progress, and they'll give him a gain of 4. 2nd and goal coming up the 5.
Yeah, Cheatham all night tonight. That first guy, I mean, it's almost like Ashton Ginty in the sense that the first guy, he does not want to tackle. Every time he meets the first mode of contact, he wants to run through you, and it's been very effective for this Liberty North offense.
It's kind of like me watching Ahmad Hardy running through the Kansas defense last weekend. I'll tell you that.
You get it.
2 receivers split out wide on both sides again. 2nd and goal at the 5. Smith fires over the middle, over the head of his intended receiver, and incomplete. 3rd and goal coming up.
Yeah, I like that. A quick pass there for Smith. Just kind of tried to zip it in there a little bit too high for his receiver, but, you know, you kind of put it at that high point territory, so hopefully no one else can get their hands on it there down in the red zone. So unsuccessful on 2nd and goal. It's going to bring down a 3rd and goal, and they still need about 6 yards.
Yeah, initially I thought that they were all the way up to the 5, but, again, 6 yards to the end zone here on 3rd and goal for Liberty North. They're already up by a touchdown, looking to make
I like a run play here. Try to set up for a shorter 4th and goal.
6:37 to go here in the 1st half. 3rd and goal. Play action. Fires near side. Tipped up in the air. Incomplete. In and out of the hands of Jackson Proden. The junior wide receiver tried to come down with the catch, but it's going to bring up 4th down.
I mean, Jake Phillips, the outside linebacker for the Titans, getting mobile there. I mean, heck of a play. They had the guy receiver wide open for the Eagles, but a lot of ground covered there by Phillips, and then an even bigger hit to make sure he jars that one out. And that's going to bring down a 4th and goal now. And it does look like Liberty North is going to decide to kick the field goal.
24-yard attempt here for Matthew Dembski. Snap, hold, kick is up, and it is good. And the 24-yard field goal makes our score 10-0 Liberty North.
Yeah, maybe it's just the riverboat gambler in me, but I mean, the smart play is to definitely kick the field goal there, get yourself a 2-possession lead. But man, I like to go for the gusto. I like to try to put up points when you're there. You're down on the 6-yard line. I like to get touchdowns, not field goals. But smart play there. That's why they're coaching, and I'm up here talking about it because I'm too greedy.
10-0. The Eagles lead it here with 6:31 to go, and we'll just go ahead and stay on the air. And obviously, in the first quarter, while we were dealing with internet issues on our end and things like that, it was really just back and forth. Really, not much going on. It was just penalties, just really killing both Lee Summit West and Liberty North in the first quarter. But then right before the end of the first quarter, Liberty North was able to get that 11-yard touchdown run from Isaac Hamilton. Yeah. But again, like you saw on that previous drive, Cade, you see Brendan Smith getting some action. He had some quick throws over the middle and off to the side. I mean, it is clear that they're going to, get both quarterbacks involved here tonight. And, it's really tough for a defense to prepare for two quarterbacks in one game, especially when they're pretty much playing 50-50.
Yeah, and both quarterbacks now with a scoring drive, too. So both quarterbacks able to put points on the board, and that's the important part for Liberty North.
Matthew Dembski getting ready to kick it away to Lee Summit West. And a short pooch kick. It'll be fielded back at the 38 and all the way up to the 40. And, you know, these kickoffs have been interesting here in the first half, Cade. You know, you've seen some pooch kicks here from both sides. And
yeah, and I mean, we've seen him kick it deep, so this is
Right.
obviously by design. This isn't like, oh, he can't kick it deep. They're trying to do something here. It's not quite an onside kick, but honestly, I can't figure out why. I mean, they're just giving the Titans good field position once again, trying to figure out the method to their madness. But, hey, they're up 10-0, so whatever they're doing is working, whether they want to keep pooch kicking it, giving the Titans this field position, and then just hope that they make a turnover or get a stop, because so far this Titans offense, I'm going to be honest with you, I don't have the exact stats on it, but it does seem like almost every other play for Lee Summit West, there's a flag.
Well, we'll see what happens here on this next drive for Lee Summit West. Again, you know, just not much going for them offensively so far, but, I mean, if you really want to turn the tide here in this game, you really got to, you know, make something happen here on this next drive here with just over 6.5 minutes to go here in the first half, and Lee Summit West still scoreless here through a quarter and a half, and they put up 54 points on the road against Oak Park. A pretty impressive showing, I'd say, after what happened the week before in their home opener against Blue Springs. They went up against a really talented defense for the Blue Springs Wildcats. But we'll resume play here at Lee Summit West, 1st and 10 at the Lee Summit West 41-yard line. And a Wildcat play here, as Harris is going to keep it to the outside, and he'll get past midfield. We'll see where they mark him out. They'll mark him out at the Liberty North 49-yard line.
Yeah, and I like that play. Harris is their veteran on this offense, if we're being honest. Last year, he was a big-time playmaker for him, had a lot of deep plays, touchdowns for this Titans offense, and he's kind of had a quiet night tonight. So I like just trying to, you know, get your best player the ball in his hands any way possible and see if you can get him going.
Edwards is going to fake the handoff, and nowhere to go. The blitz came fast, and Edwards just tried to break it out of the scrum there, but nothing going for Edwards, and it'll bring up 3rd down here for Lee Summit West.
Yeah, I got to imagine there's a little bit of miscommunication from that offensive line. It looked like a jet sweep and a handoff, so it was almost a triple option there for Edwards. Either he can keep it himself, give it to his running back, or hand it off on that jet sweep. He decided to keep it himself, but I think the jet sweep might have been there, but if we're being honest, they were already in the backfield by the time he had any option to make.
Correction, it's actually 2nd and 10 at the Liberty North 49 after a gain of nothing. As they'll bounce it to the outside, get past the 45, and get all the way up to the 42. Looked like Corey Lillis there got the call, and
yeah, Lillis, the 5'9" senior at running back, he got a few carries a season ago for them, so good to see him out there on the field this year. Week 1, they did not go his way very much, but really impressive around there. We talked about it. I mean, he had to make 3 or 4 guys miss just to get 4 or 5 yards. So a solid run.
An interesting formation here. 4 receivers split out wide on the far side, 1 out to the near side. 3rd and 4, Edwards dropping back to pass. He's going to lob one down the near sideline, and incomplete. And it's going to bring up 4th and short.
Yeah, trying to go to Myers there deep on the sideline, just not available, a little bit offline, but there was defensive backs in coverage. So the overthrow, honestly, I don't think they're going to get away with that one. A risky throw. And that's going to force the punt. Some of these Lee Summit West fans are not happy about that punt. When you're already down 2 possessions, though, a good punt here could pin the Eagles on their own 5-yard line, and hopefully they can make a mistake. So I get the punt here not going for it on 4th and 4.
That's the 5th punt of the night here already for Aiden Ouch. Standing back at his own 44-yard line. Treshunda Neal standing back at his own 12-yard line. It's a high punt with a Lee Summit West bounce. It'll be taken at the 22-yard line. So not a far punt. However, they do pin Liberty North, you know, right before the 20-yard line, but not a good punt there by Aiden Ouch. However, it could have been a lot worse there for sure. But Liberty North, they'll have a chance to make it a 3-score game going into halftime. And, you know, you got to, just looking back at what they've done here in the first half so far, they've really moved the ball up and down the field. I mean, you know, obviously it was a very shaky start for both teams, but then Liberty North really got their groove going at the end of the first quarter. And again, Isaac Hamilton ran it in from 11 yards out just before the end of the first quarter to make it 7-0. And then Liberty North tacked on a field goal from 24 yards out to make it 10-0 on the previous drive. 3 receivers bunched outside the far side as Cheatham's going to get the call, and he'll get all the way up to the 38. And it will be enough for an Eagles first down.
Yeah, so far in this one, I mean, this Eagles offense kind of goes as Cheatham goes. Another really impressive run there. I like just getting the ball in your playmaker's hands. Coming into this game, he led their team in all-purpose yards with just around 200. Also with 3 touchdowns on the season for Cheatham, so I like getting him the ball. You're already up by 2 possessions. Let's take some time off the clock. Only about 4:30 to go before halftime here. You could finish this drive off with a touchdown, up 17-0 at half. You're looking good.
Same formation as the previous play. Cheatham again gets the call, bouncing outside to the right side, and he'll get tackled at the 44. Look like he'll get a gain of 5. It'll bring up 2nd and 5.
Yeah, Zamir Cheatham, a lot of patience, making the right cuts, hitting the right holes, and gaining positive yards seamlessly every time he gets the ball. It's exactly what you want out of your high school running back. He's doing all the right things in this one for this Eagles offense, and I like it. They're setting up for something downfield if they want to. This Titans are starting to get bigger up front, loading the box, walking those linebackers down, those safeties only playing about 10 yards deep.
Brennan Smith lining up in the shotgun formation, and he can't get the throw off, and down he goes back at the 35-yard line. And coming up to make the play was Ronye Toombs.
Yeah, Toombs is one of the stars for this Titans defense. He had a couple of pressures already in this one and finally gets home for the big-time sack. You got to love seeing it, but an interesting play call there by the Eagles. I mean, you just ran the ball 2 times in a row. You're begging the defense to blitz, and you run a hard play action. You're giving yourself no time to get the throw off. So interesting call there, and a sack is the result.
Just over 3 minutes to go here in the first half. 10-0 our score. Liberty North leads it here by 2 possessions. 3rd and 10. Smith dropping back to pass. Pump fakes, rolling out to the near side, looking downfield. Incomplete as he tried to connect with Zamar Cheatham right at midfield, and the Eagles are going to have to punt it away.
Yeah, Cheatham with a diving almost catch off the fingertips. Would have been a really impressive play there, and it would have been enough for the first down. So 4th and 10, and it looks like this Titans defense now getting a massive stop. They're going to give their offense the ball back with about 3 minutes to go. We'll see if the Titans can cut this lead down to 1 possession. Even if Lee Summit West is able to find a field goal here, make it a 7-point game and a half, just find some momentum to build on into the next half, and we could have a really close football game.
Chris Harris back deep to receive the punt.
Got to be careful punting it to Harris.
Yeah,
he got speed.
And there's a flag thrown right before the snap. I don't know if this is delay a game or there was movement up front. We'll get the call. And it is going to be delay of game on Liberty North as they fail to get the punt off in time. And they'll move him back a few yards. And obviously, like you said, you got to be careful trying to punt it into the direction of Chris Harris, and he's got a lot of speed, and he's shown that here and there in the first half. But
yeah, I mean, the Titans have been under a lot of pressure on offense, so unfortunately they haven't had a lot of time to take those shots downfield. But the first play of the game, they took the shot to Harris. He got called for the offensive pass interference, take away a big play. Not sure if you guys saw that with the way the internet was acting, but he's had opportunities in this one. So he does what on this punt return.
A booming punt here by Isaac Hamilton as Harris will field it back at the 30 and get all the way up to the 38 for a return of 8 yards. So not a bad return for Chris Harris, but
yeah, good coverage. I mean, the Eagles were there ready to make a play on him, and Harris tried to make 3 people miss at once, so he's going to go down. But out of this Titans offense, the one thing I don't like is the fact time's working against them. They have not been able to move the ball very efficiently trying to take shots downfield. So I think maybe get into your trick plays, try to run something, a misdirection, maybe a play action, bubble screen to the left, something to just throw this defense off because they are so tight in the box right now with sending blitzes, with stopping the run. It's really making it difficult for this Titans offense. I think you got to try to find something underneath and then work downfield.
Lee Summit West down by 2 possessions with under 3 minutes to go here in the first half, and it's an end-around handoff to Chris Harris, and he'll get past the 40 and get all the way up to the 42-yard line, it looks like. I thought initially he had gotten up to the 44, but they'll mark him back at the 42.
Yeah, it looks like the same play call from a drive ago. First play they did a jet sweep to Harris, kind of a similar design on that time. Last time they got 10 yards, this time they only got about 4 yards. So
2 receivers split out wide on both sides. And Edwards is going to keep it himself to the far side, and he'll get pushed out of bounds right around the 45. They'll mark him out at the 46. So a gain of maybe 3 or 4 yards right there by Edwards, and it'll bring up 3rd and short.
Yeah, and I think, honestly, you got 2 plays here. I think you need to go find points here, 3rd and 2. I think you do a quarterback keeper with your big-time Dawson Edwards, the 6'5", 225-pound senior. Just give him the ball and a power and let him find the first down for you.
3rd down and 2 after the run there by Dawson Edwards. 2 receivers split out wide on both sides. Harris is going to motion, and there is a whistle before the snap. And it looks like it's going to be false start. So a false start penalty moves Lee Summit West back a few yards. And we've been talking about these brutal penalties just destroying these plays, you know, left and right for both teams. And obviously here on 3rd and short with just over 2 minutes to go here in the first half, down by 2 scores, you obviously can't have that happen.
Yeah, it's just an absolutely heartbreaking penalty there for the Titans now, 3rd and 7. So kind of changes your mode of what you were thinking you were capable of doing, and we'll see how they attack this 3rd and 7.
Edwards dropping back to pass, rolling out to the near side, and he's going to go down all the way back at the 30-yard line, and coming up to make the play on the sack, it looked like Lane Panel got around the edge and came up with the sack. And it's going to bring up a timeout here, possibly.
Yeah, definitely a good timeout. You know, let's talk this over because now with a bad punt, we just saw the punt go. It only went at, 10, 15-yard punt. So another punt like that, I mean, they'll be sitting at the 50-yard line. They still have 2 minutes. So it's completely a 180 on the script from what we were just talking about a second ago. We're thinking about the Titans possibly able to find some points. They get the false start, kind of kills that drive, then a sack. Now they're forced to punt it away. And don't be surprised here if the Eagles don't send an all-out blitz, try to block that punt, try to create a big-time field position flip. And we already saw they have a kicker that can hit a field goal. So 3 points might be on the board for them instantly.
2:01 remaining here in the second quarter. It's going to bring up 4th and 14 here for Lee Summit West as Dawson Edwards went down as he tried to get the throw off, but just couldn't get it off in time. Couldn't find an open receiver downfield. I mean, Liberty North has been really bringing the blitz all night long so far, and I have to say I'm pretty impressed with the amount of pressure that they've put up against the front line for your Lee Summit West. But 4th and 14 coming up, and again, like you say, like the punting game, hasn't been the greatest tonight so far for Lee Summit West, but it looks like they are going to bring the punt team out here for the 6th time as Aiden Ouch will look to get a big kickoff here and try to pin Liberty North deep in our own territory. So Aiden Ouch will stand back at his own 16-yard line. Shundon Neal standing back at his own 37. And Ouch gets this one off. It's a high, booming kick. And it'll take a Titan bounce as it rolls all the way past the 30, down at the 29.5-yard line. I think they'll just go ahead and mark it down at the 30-yard line, maybe the 29. They're actually going to mark it down at the 29. So Liberty North, they'll have to drive down the field 71 yards.
Yeah, I think Coach Horn's going to be very happy with that punt because, that was close to getting blocked. I don't know if you saw that. It was extremely close. Just got it off in the nick of time. And now a long ways to go for the Eagles. We'll see kind of how they go about this if they want to get back to just kind of their slow-paced offense. They have enough timeouts to possibly just kind of run the ball, get back to some of their quick slants, RPO plays for an offense to just move the ball methodically down the field. You don't have to rush it yet. You got a minute 50, so a good opportunity once again for Liberty North to find some points.
And it looks like Liberty North is going to keep Brennan Smith in the game at quarterback. Here with 1:50 to go here in the second quarter. 10-0, the Eagles lead it. And Isaac Hamilton's actually in the game as he tries to look for an open receiver downfield. And is it intercepted? Did he step out of bounds? I don't know if they're going to give him the interception here. He might have stepped out of bounds right before making the catch.
They're going to call it incomplete.
They're going to call it incomplete. So
almost
Isaac
a
Hamilton.
massive turnover there by Hamilton. You got the 10-point lead. You take that in the half. There's no reason to take any chances downfield to give the Titans any unnecessary momentum. So got away with one there, but great pressure off the edge by the Titans. I believe it was Gutierrez coming off the edge for Lee Summit West, got right in the face of Hamilton. Hamilton able to evade the initial pressure, but then you saw it almost a costly throw downfield.
It'll bring up 2nd and 10 after the incomplete pass from Isaac Hamilton as he swings it out to the near side and just not into the hands of Anthony Castaneda. Just too short right there by Hamilton. It'll bring up 3rd and 10.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, Castieda was open, but just kind of skipped that one in there at his feet. Not really any play he can make on that ball. So now 3rd and 10. Still the minute 38 here. Titans might be thinking about what they can do to get this ball back for their offense.
2 receivers split out wide on both sides. Hamilton looking to draw the audible. Hamilton back to pass, rolling out to the near side, looking downfield, fires, and up and over the hands of Jackson Proden and incomplete. And it'll bring up 4th down once again, and Liberty North going to have to punt it away once again. It's just been back-to-back punts here for both teams, but Liberty North, they still lead it here by 2 possessions. However, Lee Summit West, they now have the door open for them for an opportunity to make it a 1-possession game going into halftime and to feel good. I mean, it hasn't been the greatest first half for Lee Summit West. However, they've been making plays on defense, but offensively, they just haven't really gotten anything going.
Yeah, simply put, I think both these defenses are just settling into this game, and both of them are creating a lot of pressure on these quarterbacks, whether it's Edwards, Hamilton, or Smith. Just nowhere to go with these football. Not enough time to find an open target.
And a booming punt by Isaac Hamilton as Chris Harris takes it on the return, and he'll get tripped up back at the 32. And now Lee Summit West will have another opportunity to drive down the field and try to put up some points going into halftime, down by 2 possessions here at home. As the Titans, they're looking for their first home win of the season after a huge 54-17 victory at Oak Park last weekend. Liberty North seeking their first win of the season. They're currently 0-2. And they took on their arch rival, I believe, last week, and they just came up short against Liberty. So, I mean, it's a big game here for both teams.
They dropped that one 38-22 at home. So, yeah, 0-2 in the season, trying to find their first win, up 2 possessions.
Edwards dropping back to pass. He's met with some pressure, rolling out to the near side. Heaves one down the field, and incomplete. And Dawson Edwards tried to connect. It looked like Life Byers tried to come down with the catch. It's just right at the fingertips, partner.
I mean, you folks saw it, right off the hands of Byers. I mean, just fully extended, fully reached out, not able to haul that one in. What that could have done, this stadium was ready to erupt, and the gasp after the drop. Unfortunate break there for the Titans. But I like the play call, hard play action. I mean, Edwards made that all happen in the backfield. He felt pressure, able to roll out, buy himself some time, and had his target open downfield, just unable to connect.
An incomplete pass stops the clock at a minute 14. Edwards looking downfield as he tries to evade the pressure, keeping it himself up the middle, gets all the way up to the 35 for a gain of 2. So he gets past the line of scrimmage, picks up a couple of yards, and we will have our first timeout of the game here with 1:03 to go here in the second quarter. Liberty North leads it 10-0 here over Lee Summit West. And we'll go ahead and just keep it right here. I don't think this will be a long timeout, but okay, just your evaluation here of Lee Summit West's offense. I mean, what do they need to do to really get it going? I mean, you've seen just a couple of plays ago, Life Byers, could have easily been a touchdown right there. I mean, how does Lee Summit West get it back going offensively?
Well, it's going to sound cliche, but it really does start up front with them. I mean, the offensive line is struggling so far in this one. A lot of pressure is being put on Dawson Edwards in this game. And I mean, you can only make so many people miss and then try to find somebody downfield to buy yourself time. We saw on that incomplete pass where he just missed Byers downfield. He had to make a defender miss just to get that ball out. So he's not having enough time to really read the field. And then also for Dawson Edwards, you're going to get hit. You know they're sending pressure. I think instead of running around and trying to make people miss in the backfield, try to just step up in the pocket and just kind of laser it in there.
I mean, this is a very young offensive line. However, it does have 2 seniors on this front line here for the Lee Summit West offense. But Brock Barrows and Noah Patton, they're both sophomores. I mean, there's some youth on the offensive line for Lee Summit West, so it's obviously a tough challenge as Edwards heaves one down the middle of the field and incomplete. 3rd down now coming up for Lee Summit West. It'll stop the clock at 56.1 seconds.
Yeah, trying to find Perkins there downfield. Double coverage, nothing really open, but it's going to be incomplete.
Excuse me, it'll bring up 4th down here. Initially, I thought it was 3rd down, but I was kind of paying attention to the scoreboard, and then it said 2nd down previously, and then now 4th down. But
They're going to punt
obviously
it away.
can't trust the scoreboard really when it comes to downs here.
Nope.
But
got to count the rings on your fingers.
So 56 seconds to go here in the second quarter as Lee Summit West will punt it away for the 7th time tonight. Aiden Ouch will boot this one away. It's a side winding kick past the 30, and it'll go out of bounds at the Liberty North 28. So I'm not sure if Liberty North is going to do anything here with 46 seconds. I guess they have time to maybe drive down the field and get a field goal. What I mean by I don't know what they're going to do. Like, I don't know if they're trying to put up another touchdown or maybe just try and kick a field goal. You did see earlier in the game they were able to knock in a short field goal attempt from 24 yards out thanks to Matthew Dembski, the junior kicker.
Yeah, I think you're going to go for points here. I mean, you might as well. You got time. You're only up 10-0. It's not like you've ran up the scoreboard at all. And I mean, any points to try to build off of it. And they've been stifled their last 3 possessions. So trying to find a little bit of mojo here late in the second quarter.
Cheatham gets the call. Evades a couple of defenders past the 35, and he'll get all the way up to the Liberty North 38. And it might be enough for an Eagles first down. We might have a timeout here.
Yeah, it was like
unless they're going quick. I think they're going to actually go quick. I saw the officials kind of wave their hands like there's a timeout, but no timeout called here as Liberty North will keep it going with 30 seconds to go here in the second quarter. Trips out to the far side as Cheatham gets the call again. Nowhere to go, and the pressure is met right at the line of scrimmage. Nowhere to go for Cheatham, and it'll bring up 2nd and 10. And the clock continuing to tick here with 12 seconds.
Yeah.
I don't know if Liberty North is going to get another playoff or they're just going to let this one
Looks
wind
like
all the way
content.
down to 0.
Yeah, it looks like they're not going to try to get any points here. And I got to get a shout out there. That was Brody Henry, the defensive tackle for Lee Summit West, getting some pressure there. So that'll do it for halftime.
So with that, we go into halftime with a 10-0 score. The visitors, Liberty North Eagles, lead it here over the Lee Summit West Titans, 10-0. And just to kind of break down what happened in the first half is obviously the first quarter. We didn't really get to air much of the action due to our technical difficulties, but just to quickly break down what happened in the first half, a slow start for both teams. And midway through the first quarter, partner, Lee Summit West punts it away. Liberty North roughs the punter. Lee Summit West gets the ball back. They fail to capitalize on that opportunity. They end up punting away 4 plays later. And then it's just been back and forth defensive plays from both teams. And then right at the end of the first quarter, we saw that 11-yard touchdown run from the junior quarterback, Isaac Hamilton. And then later on, after that drive, they were able to knock in a 24-yard field goal from Matthew Dembski. And then really from that point on, it's just been missed opportunities, penalties really destroying drives for both teams. It's just been a mixture of all those things.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. Penalties has been prevalent for both these offenses. For Liberty North, though, they kind of got away. Early on, they had a couple of holding calls, but then they kind of found their rhythm on offense. Like you said, the rushing touchdown by the quarterback scrambling, getting loose and finding the end zone. It's kind of right when we came back on air. And then the field goal to give them the 10-point lead. But on the flip side of that, the Titans, I mean, the penalties, they have not gone away. I mean, it's every drive. Just the drive ago, they had the ball at about the 50-yard line. It was 3rd and 2, and then a false start on the offensive line made it 3rd and 7, and then a sack, and you're punting it. So it seems like every time the Titans get to this short yardage, and they had this problem, we go back to week 1, they had a handful of times where it was 3rd and short, whether it was a holding call, whether it was a false start, something happened that made it now 3rd and longer than it should be, and unable to execute on that 3rd and 7, 3rd and 10, whatever it made it. So for the Titans, it's going to be, you got to limit some of those mistakes they're making, and it's still early in the season, and they're going to settle in to the year, but they find themselves 1-on-1. They're only down by 10. This would be a massive win for Lee Summit West. So clean some of those mistakes up on offense, try to get going, because they've shown they have an offense. I mean, we talked about it. They put up 57 points just a week ago. So this isn't an offense that can't score. They just kind of got to get their mojo.
Well, we enter halftime here at Lee Summit West as the Liberty North Eagles lead it 10-0 by 2 possessions here on the road. I'm Austin Eckert. Alongside with me is Cade Ricketts, and we just want to say really quickly, we appreciate you all tuning in right here on A10varsity.com. Whether you're tuning in on the A10 Varsity website or on YouTube, we certainly appreciate your guys' attentiveness tonight and tuning in. And and thank you for your patience too. I understand it's frustrating when we have technical difficulties. Obviously, very frustrating for us and for you, the viewers at home, just trying to tune in and watch the game. But we're back up and going, and I think we've been smooth sailing ever since towards the end of the first quarter. But things have been going good so far. So knock on wood, hopefully it remains that way. But with that, we'll go ahead and step aside for now as we enter halftime. So we have about 20 minutes or so before we resume play here between the Eagles and the Titans. And we'll be back here momentarily as we enter halftime here at Lee Summit West. And we welcome you back live on 810varsity.com. Liberty North leads it by 2 possessions, 10-0 our score. And we're about to get ready for the second half as both teams are warming up on the field. And, it was a very interesting first half, Cade. You saw lots of defense from both teams, not much going for both offenses. However, Liberty North, found their groove a little bit in the second quarter. However, one of the biggest storylines tonight in this game so far is penalties have really hurt both teams on offense.
Yeah, and we talked about it, the Titans' offensive line drawing quite a few holding penalties. They've had a couple of false start penalties, but, a lot of those holding penalties, it ain't like the refs are being nitpicky. Some of them have been very blatant holds. So, on the flip side of that, you kind of got to give props to Liberty North and their front defensive line, guys like Preston Cook and Derek Davis, able to draw those holding calls because they've been that explosive off the edge. They are getting free releases, just swarming in there, trying to get to Dawson Edwards. And it's just kind of forcing those tackles to hold to try to buy their quarterback any amount of time. So it's just locking down that front offensive line. But so far for Liberty North, they're winning the battle up front. And then on the flip side of that, the Titans defense, especially those last couple of drives, we saw back-to-back scoring drives out of Liberty North. But once again, those last couple of drives for the Titans defense, they were able to kind of do the same exact thing, just pressure in the face of Isaac Hamilton and Smith for the Eagles. So pressure up front from the defensive line, I think, to me, has kind of been the storyline of this game for both teams and kind of why it's been such a low-scoring game. Is just quarterbacks constantly under duress, feeling the pressure, being forced to roll out. And I kind of talked about it towards the end of the fourth or the second quarter there for the Titans. What I really want to see coming out here is for Dawson Edwards. He's not giving himself a lot of time to read the field, and that's because of the pressure. But I think he needs to just kind of step up in the pocket. Instead of spending time trying to roll away from these defensive ends, just kind of step up and just try to just deliver it. And I think that kind of comes with the play calling too. They need to start running a lot of quick, designed short routes, just get the ball in and out of his hands as fast as possible. And they need to establish the run game. There's not been much of a run game for this Titans offense. So I think kind of establish the run, kind of just dink and dunk, take what the defense is willing to give you, and then eventually, hopefully, your offensive line can settle in and buy you that time. But they've had some successful drives, and then it's like we've talked about, it's just kind of been killed by a penalty. So cleaning up the penalties, just taking what the defense gives you, trying to settle into the second half, and they got to find a scoring drive early in this one because I know Liberty North is going to be coming out here, getting the ball, and they're going to want to extend on this lead, making it a 3-possession game.
Yeah, no doubt about that. Liberty North again looking for their first win of the season. Lee Summit West looking for their first home win of the season after a big 54-17 victory over Oak Park on the road. And Liberty North, they're trying to bounce back after a tough outing against Liberty last week. So now we're getting ready to start the second half here in just a moment, as both teams will get ready to take the field any moment now. Lee Summit West, they're wearing their all-silver uniforms tonight, silver helmets, silver jerseys, silver pants, and Liberty North, they're wearing their home yellow uniforms with navy bottoms and navy helmets.
Yeah, Titans look sharp out here, so hopefully their play on offense can emulate the look of their uniforms and get that on the same page together, because if they can play as clean as they look, they'll get right back into this game. But like I just said, unfortunately for the Titans, the Eagles will get the ball first. So the defense for the Titans, and once again, they got to go get a big stop, make that 3 and out, get yourself a little bit of momentum, hand that momentum off to your offense, and hopefully Edwards and that offense for the Titans can get rolling and find some positive points.
Truman Brinton getting ready to kick it away as we start the second half here at Lee Summit West High School. Liberty North leads it 10-0, and Brinton's kick is going to go deep in the end zone, and Liberty North is just going to call a touchback there, and it'll bring out the Liberty North offense all the way up to the 25. So after the touchback, Liberty North will begin their first drive of the second half at their own 25-yard line.
Yeah, for Liberty North, don't be surprised if they start this drive instantly just giving the ball to Zamir Cheatham. Cheatham has been a wrecking ball so far for the Eagles, finding positive yards on almost all of his carries. So when you got a guy that's averaging almost 4 or 5 yards a carry, that's kind of the direction you want to go. It's positive plays every play as long as Cheatham's got the ball in his hands. So we'll see what the game design is here early in the second half for the Eagles and how they want to try to grow on this lead.
Trips out to the far side here for the first play of the second half. And it's a handoff play to the right side to Cheatham. And barely gets past the line of scrimmage. Gets a gain of 3. It'll bring up 2nd and 7.
Yeah, I think I jinxed him on that one. I just talked about how efficient he's been running it. Still got about 3 yards there, so at least a positive play on first down. They're not going backwards, which is always what you're looking for on your opening drives. But here they go again with that far set bunch to the left, and we'll see if they try to go earlier. They went to that screen and scored a touchdown, but don't forget it got called back for the holding, so let's see what they decide to do here.
Similar formation as the previous play, except they got trips out, bunched to the near side. Another handoff play to Cheatham, past the 25, gets all the way up to the 30. Will it be enough for the first down? He is close to that first down marker. We'll see where they mark down Zamar Cheatham, the senior running back.
Yeah, it looks like they're going to mark him about a half yard short of the first down, so it's going to bring up 3rd and 1, I believe. But
we got a
come
holding
back on
call.
A holding.
This is what I was kind of talking about before we opened up the second half. We talked about penalties just destroying drives for both teams, especially for Liberty North. I think it's really affected the Eagles more than it has the Titans. As far as the Titans go offensively, they just got to find their groove, right?
No,
I think what they're going to try to find here in the second half, I would think.
I think it's been pretty equally distributed as far as the unlucky calls go for both teams. But, I mean, for the Eagles, they're trying to establish that run game. When you're trying to establish the run, which they kind of did early in the second quarter, you're going to have holding calls. That just kind of comes with running the ball here in high school, especially with these officials that are willing to call it every time.
And the holding call makes it 2nd down and 17. Cheatham again gets the call past the 25 up to the 30. Will it be enough for the first down as Cheatham broke free and got close to the first down marker? He is going to get enough for the first down. It's a gain of 18. Oh, and we do have an injury timeout on the field. So we'll go ahead and step aside for right now, and we'll give you an update when available when we come back.
My name is Bree McNally. I am actually a server downtown at Grunauer. Our 15-year-old son was in an automobile accident and he was taken by ambulance to Children's Mercy Hospital. So when I called Eric, he just, was upfront about everything, let me know what the process would be. So Eric was easy to communicate with. I could Facebook Messenger him, call the office, text him, and he was always super responsive and handled everything in a timely manner.
And we welcome you back to our live coverage of Missouri High School football right here on A10varsity.com. Zamar Cheatham unfortunately went down with an injury after the 18-yard carry. He was helped up off the field and was able to get up on his own power as well and walk off after that play. But hopefully he'll be all right. It's another handoff play here on 1st and 10. Nowhere to go. Might have gotten a gain of 1.
Yeah, unfortunate break there for the Eagles. Obviously, we have been just loving watching Cheatham run the football in this game. He's had a lot of success, and even on the play he got hurt, he picked up, like you said, 18 yards. So, unfortunate for them. Hopefully it's just a stinger. Like you said, he walked off under his own power. Hopefully he can get back out there for Liberty North. But in the meantime, they're going to have to find that production elsewhere.
So after the 1-yard run, it'll bring up 2nd and 9. 2 receivers split out wide on both sides. Isaac Hamilton in the game at quarterback. And he'll take the snap on 2nd and 9. He'll fire it over the middle, and it's caught at the 39. He'll get all the way up to the 40, just a couple of yards shy of the first down marker. It'll bring up 3rd and short.
Yeah, absolutely smothered by the Titans defense there after the reception. About 4 or 5 guys it took to bring him down. But Taylor with the initial tackle, so he'll be rewarded with it. But like we said, what are they going to do now? This has kind of completely changed the offensive game plan for the Eagles. They were just run with Cheatham. Now they're going to have to get out there. And I like the quarterback run, too. Don't forget Hamilton and Smith both can run at the quarterback position. Titans showing some pressure here, though.
3rd and short at the 40-yard line. There's a whistle blown before the snap. And a little pushing and shoving on the near sideline after the whistle, but it's going to be encroachment on Lee Summit West. So this time, a penalty helps out the Liberty North offense, and it'll be an automatic first down.
I'm going to be honest, I can't remember the last time the defense had a penalty since the first play of the game. Or that was an offense too. So a lot of offensive penalties, not so many defensive penalties, but I kind of said it right there before the snap. The Titans walked up those linebackers and were showing the blitz, but I think somebody just got a little bit too close to that line of scrimmage and obviously crossed it, drawing the penalty. So a good break there for these Eagles. They just lost their running back, but they're finding the first down with Cheatham on the sideline.
Brennan Smith in the game at quarterback. 1st and 10 at the 45. Smith dropping back to pass. Flushed. He's going to keep it up the middle, past the line of scrimmage, and gets all the way up to the 47. For only a gain of 2, so he gets past the line of scrimmage. Couldn't find an open receiver downfield. It'll bring up 2nd and 8.
Yeah, and I think it's the smart play there. Not anywhere to really go with the football initially, pressure in his face. That's one thing that Liberty North has done a great job of in this football game for those quarterbacks. Both of them are kind of gadgety, slippery quarterbacks, both able to evade pressure. And the Titans have only had that 1 sack early in the 2nd quarter by Toombs.
Play action from Smith. Rolling out to the far side. Caught right at the first down marker. We'll see if it's enough for the first down. It might be 3rd and short coming up for the Eagles. Yeah, I think it's going to be 3rd and short, marking him about a yard short. Really close to the first down there, and what a great play. Rolling out, finding Xavier Scott wide open on the sideline. Just unable to not enough real estate to cut upfield. Had to just catch that and instantly go out of bounds. But a good throw there by Liberty North. 3rd and 1. Proden will motion. And Smith is going to keep it himself up the middle. He gets the first down all the way up to the 40, and he'll get tripped up at the 37 of Lee Summit West. So it's enough for an Eagles first down, and a good run right there by Brennan Smith.
Yeah, Smith, I just said it a second ago, these quarterbacks are quick. Whether it's Smith out there or Hamilton, they both have showed they have wheels. So when you lose your running back, go to your second best option, and really that's the quarterback running the football. And what a great run there. It was just an instantly quarterback designed run, hit the hole hard, and fell forward for a gain of some extra yards. So positive plays and a great opening drive so far for Liberty North.
2 receivers split out wide on both sides. Here on 1st and 10, Brennan Smith still in the game at quarterback. Jackson Proden will motion. Smith will hand it off up the middle. Only a gain of 2. Not much going right there by Tony Cherry as it'll bring up 2nd and 8.
Yeah, just not a lot of real estate there for the running back. But still not going backwards. Positive play on first down. Kind of collect yourself and see what you can find here on 2nd and 8. So it looks like they might be going for one of those kind of quick passes. I think they'll see one of those comeback routes, quick slants, just something to move the ball forward fast.
Same formation as the previous play here on 2nd and 8 at the Lee Summit West 36. Smith dropping back to pass. Fires one over the middle, and it's caught at the 30. He's at the 25. Spins out of a defender at the 20, and he'll go down at the 14. And the Liberty North offense gets inside the red zone here on their opening drive. Well, we have a special delivery here in the broadcast booth. We got some food here, Grandma's Office Catering. And we got a croissant sandwich. Very nice. We appreciate the hospitality here at Lee Summit West High School.
Yeah, shout out A.D. Oliver, Jim Oliver with the hookup for us.
And we're back here with a 1st and 10 at the 18. Another handoff play, nowhere to go as Lee Summit West showed blitz. And they were able to put Edward Massey down to the ground quick, and he might have lost maybe a yard or 2, but it looks like he did get back up all the way up to the line of scrimmage. It'll bring up 2nd and 10.
Yeah, great play there by the Titans, getting that quick pressure off the edge, just blowing that one up before it even got going. And the entire running dynamic for Liberty North has completely changed ever since Cherry checked in for the injured Cheatham. You got to hope that Cheatham is okay on the sideline because it's definitely changing this offense.
Smith rolling out to his right. It's caught inside the 5. Will it be enough for the first down? It'll be close to the first down marker. Shondon Neal coming down with the tough catch. He really had to jump up high in the air to come down with that one, and Neal could have easily been incomplete.
Neal's one of the only players for Liberty North playing both sides of the ball. He gets some action at cornerback on defense, and then obviously receiver on offense, and he's making plays on both sides of the ball. Great grab there, and now just 3rd and short.
3rd and 1 at the 4. Smith, quick pass, caught into the end zone. Touchdown, Liberty North.
Yeah, I mean, just a smart play design there. The Titans were given a little bit of cushion, not really playing down at the line of scrimmage, and just a quick hike, quick pass, quick catch. Everything so fast before the defensive backs for the Titans could react. It's an easy touchdown as they're just going to walk in, and that's going to make this lead 16-0. Liberty North over the Titans as they're still trying to find their offensive footing in this game.
Xavier Scott with the 4-yard touchdown reception to make it 16-0. And they'll come on to attempt the extra point to make it a 17-point ball game. And here's it's a low snap, and they can't get it off. Now they'll just have to take it down, and just a blown play right there, and the extra points. They can't get it up and through, and our score remains here at 16-0. Liberty North, though, they still lead it here by 3 possessions.
Yeah, I made sure to.
Or actually 2 possessions, really, because if Lee Summit West can get 2 touchdowns and 2-point conversions, obviously we'll be tied up here at 16 apiece. So rather than 3 possessions, it's actually a 2-possession game if you think about it that way. But they can't get the extra point off, and they were able to not get a field goal earlier in the game in the second quarter, and now special teams woes here to open up the second half. But one thing I do want to point out real quick, Cade, Liberty North, they held on to the ball for more than half of this quarter here. They held on to the ball for about 6.5 minutes. We're here with 5:11 to go in the third quarter, and as you can see here, to open things up, I think Liberty North, up by 2 possessions, obviously 10-0, and they're probably thinking like maybe if we can keep the ball out of the Lee Summit West offense, I think it can really limit the risk of them trying to tie it up or limit the risk of them trying to get back into this game because...
I mean, absolutely. I mean, you just look at the time. There's only 5 minutes left to go in the third quarter. They took a massive chunk of time out of that clock. That's not going to leave Lee Summit West too much time, especially for an offense that's struggling. They're going to need to find something fast on offense to get back in this one. Not necessarily this drive. They can still take their time, but eventually they're going to have a quick drive because they're just going to run out of opportunities in this football game to find points. On the flip side of that, Liberty North, a great drive there. Unfortunately, a missed extra point, but still a very successful drive.
And Dembski's going to boot this one away. It'll be fielded back at the 10-yard line, and it will be brought out to the 15, to the 20. And he'll get past a couple of defenders and gets all the way up to the 37-yard line on the near side, but I could have sworn I saw a flag thrown in the middle of the play, so this could be coming back here on Lee Summit West.
Yeah, I can't say that would surprise me too much, but I don't think so. We'll see.
I could have sworn I saw a flag thrown at the end of the return, but they are talking about it.
West. Holding West.
It's what I initially thought, so...
I should have, I'm kicking myself. I should have started a counter of how many holding calls has been in this game because, like I said, I'm not saying they're not there, but at some point I'm in the boat. You got to let them play. Takes a big return away from Lee Summit West. Obviously, Liberty North fans love to see it because they're going to have to go the whole distance of the field now, that being the Titans, if they're going to want to find their first points of this game.
So down by 2 possessions if you consider the fact that if they can get 2 2-point conversions with 2 touchdowns, it would tie the game up at 16 apiece.
Yeah, and I think something you got to think about, too, like you talked about, it is still 2 possessions if you get the touchdown and a 2-point conversion. So I think Coach Horn, with that mindset, you've got to be willing to go for it on 4th down if you can get to midfield and past midfield because, unfortunately, a field goal is just not going to do that much for you. I mean, you want to find those touchdowns, but I get also taking the points because they just haven't found any points yet. So anything's a positive, but touchdowns are going to be what they're looking for at this point in the game, still trying to find their first points of the game. And I think coming into this drive, I think what they need to get back to, we saw it late in the second half with their week 1 game. Some of those trick plays, misdirections, jet sweeps, just things to get the defense moving one direction and your players going the other way, things to get the linebackers' eyes confused on which way to shoot, what hole to go into, where to shoot through on these blitzes that they're sending instead of a lot of these dropbacks. I mean, they're trying to drop back and find something downfield, and unfortunately, Edwards, the quarterback for the Titans, just has not had the time.
So the holding call pushes the Titans back at their own 15-yard line. So that's where they're going to set up shop here on 1st and 10 And Edwards is going to keep it himself to the right side on the near side. And he'll get tripped up out of bounds right around the 25. And a late flag will be thrown at the end of the play. And this could be an interesting call here, partner.
Yeah, I hope it's not holding. But Edwards right there just rumbling, stumbling forward. I mean, he was throwing Eagles off of him left and right. That was a tough way to get those first 5 yards. But we'll see what this call is as the white cap talks it over.
And it's a personal foul penalty on Lee Summit West, so it might have come after the end of the play. It was hard to see it from our angle, but there might have been some extra pushing and shoving after Edwards went out of bounds.
Yeah, definitely a late flag there by Edwards. I don't know I didn't see who they called that on. I didn't really see anything that looked like it would draw an unsportsmanlike penalty, but obviously we're not down on the field, so they saw something we didn't. And that is going to be a massive penalty because that's going to push them way back. Redraw first down, and it is going to be first and long.
So back-to-back penalties for the Titans after the kickoff return and now after the first play of their first drive here in the second half after Liberty North held onto the ball for about 6.5 minutes to open up the second half here in the third quarter. And Edwards is going to hand it off to the right side, past the 10-yard line, and he'll get close to the 15-yard line. He'll get tackled at the 14.
Yeah, unfortunately for the Titans, I mean, the run game has just not really been there at times for them in this game. They've tried with Rollinson, they've tried with Lyles, both of them getting attempts, but nothing positive so far for the Titans on the ground. And then we saw a play go, even when Edwards, the big 6'5" quarterback, keeps it himself and gets positive yards, it's taken away by a penalty. So it's really hard to be a physical football team in this game when they're going to be calling a lot of penalties. And obviously on the passing, not a lot of time for Edwards to get the ball out. So they've got to find some form of offense.
3rd and 13. Edwards rolling out to the far side and over the head of his intended receiver and incomplete as he tried to connect with Life Byers. And now it'll bring up 4th down as Edwards got hit pretty hard at the end of the play. He was slow to get up. Hopefully he's okay, but the Titans are going to have to punt this one away for the 8th time tonight. This is the 8th time that the Titans have punted the ball away, so Aiden Ouch has been on the field quite a bit.
Yeah, and I mean, something to watch here on this punt play is it seems every time the Titans punted, the Eagles get a little bit closer to blocking it. And I wouldn't be surprised if the Eagles send some kind of block here with them going to be punting this one out of their almost their own end zone at about the 1-yard line.
And we do have some whistles here before the snap. I don't know if there was some movement up front or what the situation is, but we're looking at all 4 of the officials here as they, I don't know if they're trying to reset or if they're trying to, I don't know what they're talking about. It's a weird stoppage of play, but obviously every now and then the refs do need to reset.
Might be good to go here. I had to guess that, but it might have been something to do with the clock or the down, something, the yardage, something they're probably trying to communicate upstairs, but looks like they're still going to punt this one away. It's a 4th and 10 for the Titans. Like I said, watch for that pressure. Watch for them to send something in or maybe try to get a block. A block here might call a football game.
So Aiden Ouch back deep to punt here for Lee Summit West. Trishunda Neal standing back at the Lee Summit West 44. It's a high punt. Not much distance from Ouch. It's going to take a Liberty North Eagle bounce all the way up past the 35 and down at the 34. So not a long punt there by Aiden Ouch. And Liberty North is going to have a chance to make it a 3-possession game. We'll go ahead and step aside for, actually, we'll go ahead and just keep it on the air. I thought maybe we had a little bit of a timeout. And
the Titans are already ready. Their defense is out there. They know this is a big drive. They know they got to make a stop. They're already on the field. They're ready to go. Yeah, I think, unfortunately for the Titans, once again, offensively not able to find a footing really at all, just kind of going backwards from the get-go with penalties and plays, sacks, just nothing going forward. No positive outcomes for this Titans offense, which is heartbreaking for them, especially like we just talked about. I mean, they have not been able to score at home. Obviously on the road at Oak Park last week, their offense could do no wrong. So just to flip to the script on them once again.
Bunch trips out to the far side, and it's a handoff play up the middle. A gain of a couple of yards. Brennan Smith in the game at quarterback for Liberty North still. And Zamar Cheatham is back in the game, so he gets the call and gets a good carry. And glad to see that he's back out on the field. Obviously, we don't know what happened to him that resulted him to come out of the game. But, could have been just a matter of getting the wind knocked out of you or, something like that. But it's good to see Zamar Cheatham back out there. I mean, it's one of Liberty North's most important players. So good to see him back out on the field. We got the same formation as the previous drive here on 2nd and 6 after the 4-yard carry by Cheatham. And he's going to get the call again. Bouncing to the outside, up the middle, up to the 20. That's where he'll go down. It'll be enough for an Eagles first down.
Yeah, I mean, analyzing Cheatham running the ball, I mean, just the speed of which he starts once he grabs the football is extremely impressive. You can kind of tell the difference between when he was off the field to when he was on the field. I mean, they tried about 2 or 3 runs while he was sidelined for a little bit with a stinger, and the runs were only getting 2 or 3 yards. And as soon as he checks in, these runs are going for 5, 6 yards a carry, hitting the hole hard and quick, making the first guy miss. Cheatham is an X factor on this Eagles offense.
Trips out to the near side this time here on 1st and 10 at the Lee Summit West 21. Smith handing it off to Cheatham again. Trying to shift his way to the left side, and he'll go down up to the 14-yard line, a gain of 7.
Yeah, and I mean, if he was hurt, he looks great right now. I mean, obviously showing no signs of injury anymore, so glad he got that figured out. And I mean, for Liberty North, why not just keep handing him the ball? I mean, he's probably going to get a little winded as many carries he's had in this one, but it seems to be the most effective way for them. But another thing that's impressive is their offense, like I talked about all game, it's kind of been one-dimensional to Cheatham. Cheatham goes off the field, and they go find a touchdown. So this offense can beat you in other ways as they show to drive a go.
An interesting formation here on 2nd down and 3. Trips out to the near side with Jackson Proden lining up in the slot. Smith handing it off to Cheatham again to the left side. Bouncing outside up to the 5-yard line, down at the 4, setting up 1st and goal.
Yeah, and I can tell you what this next play is going to be. Should be a run right up the middle. I mean, this Titans defense, unfortunately, they have played a tough game. They have got stops, but at some point, you just got nobody left in the tank. Still only week 3 of the season. These guys are not in mid-season form yet. And I mean, and they just look tired. Hands on hips. They're exhausted, and running the ball can be punishing.
1st and goal at the 4-yard line with a little under a minute and a half to go in the 3rd. Brendan Smith still in the game at quarterback. He'll send a receiver in motion as Smith will hand it off to Cheatham again to the left side as he bounces his way into the end zone. Touchdown, Liberty North.
That'll be Cheatham's 4th touchdown on the season. He approaches almost 300 all-purpose yards on this year's too, almost averaging around 100 yards a game now, all-purpose for Cheatham. And I mean, he is showing this Liberty North team, although they are 0-2, they are playing a great style of football tonight. Slow, methodical, hard, smash-mouth football, and it is paying off dividends for them as they are winning the battle in the trenches. They're winning the battle up front. And unfortunately for this Titans defense, they have no answer for Cheatham.
Matthew Dembski on to attempt the extra point. Let's see if Liberty North can get the extra point off here, and they do. Snap it, and the hold is good, and the kick is up and through the uprights, and now it's a 23-0 lead here for Liberty North with 1:10 to go here in the 3rd quarter as Lee Summit West, they've got their work cut out for them as the Eagles lead it big here up by 23. We'll go ahead and step aside for a brief commercial break, but when we come back, Lee Summit West will get the ball for the 2nd time here in the 2nd half with 1:10 to go here in the 3rd quarter. I'm Austin Eckert. He's Cade Ricketts. And just really quickly, we just want to thank you all for tuning in here on A10varsity.com. Whether you're tuning in on the A10 Varsity website or on YouTube, we certainly appreciate you all tuning in here on this Friday evening. We'll be right back.
My name is Bree McNally. I am actually a server downtown at Grunauer. Our 15-year-old son was in an automobile accident and he was taken by ambulance to Children's Mercy Hospital. So when I called Eric, he just, was upfront about everything, let me know what the process would be. So Eric was easy to communicate with. I could Facebook Messenger him, call the office, text him, and he was always super responsive and handled everything in a timely manner.
And we're back live here on A10varsity.com. 23-0. Liberty North here leads it on the road against the Lee Summit West Titans as the Eagles look for their first win of the season, while Lee Summit West seeks their first win at home on the season as well. And the kickoff is going to be fielded behind the 20-yard line, and it'll be brought out to the 25, and he'll go down at the 30.
Yeah, so about a minute to go here in the 3rd quarter. for the Titans. Still got enough time to just go find a touchdown here. I mean, 23-0. It's not going to be an easy comeback to complete. But for this Titans offense, just try to find something positive on this drive and kind of see where the dice roll. If you get the ball back, if you get a 3-and-out, I mean, you never know. You could score here and they could muff the kick return, and you could be finding yourself on the 4-yard line to make it a one-possession game. Anything's possible. There's still a lot of time to go. Whole fourth quarter to play out. So they just need to really batten down the hatches, clean up the penalties on this drive, and see if they can find some points and put themselves on the scoreboard, and just kind of take it from there.
So the Lee Summit West offense will go back to work at their own 30-yard line, and they'll have to drive down the field 70 yards to get their first points of the game as Edwards fires this one over the middle, and it's caught at the 37.
That's his favorite target right there. Chris Harris hauling that one in.
Yep.
And I think Edwards, I mean, some of his better throws we've seen tonight, surprisingly, isn't when he's standing in the pocket. It's when he's rolling out. He likes kind of rolling out right, left, kind of the sidearm. That's where he looks like he feels his most comfortable. So we'll see if the Titans kind of let him stay in that rollout sidearm kind of style of play. That's where most of his completions have came from.
Two receivers split out wide on both sides. 30 seconds to go here in the third quarter. 23-0. Liberty North leads it as Harris will hand it off to the right side. And Rollison's going to bounce outside to the 45. That's where he'll go out of bounds. It will be enough for at least Summit West first down, and Rollison will stop the clock at 20.2 seconds.
Yeah, I like the play call there. I mean, I talked about it a while ago, trying to do some play, some trickery, something to get the defense off guard, and they definitely did that there. Not the biggest gain, but like you said, enough for the first down. Edwards started under center and then motioned himself out. They kind of set up then into the Wildcat direct snap and take it. So a good for a first down, a good play call there by the Titans, and one of their sole first downs in this game, as they have not had very many.
Two receivers out wide to the far side, one out to the near side. Edwards hands it off to Harris, past midfield, and he'll go out at the 43-yard line. It'll be enough for another Titans first down as Harris stops the clock at 13.8 seconds.
Yeah, and getting out of bounds, these players, they know how much they're going to need to get back into this game, and stopping that clock as often as they can is going to pay dividends down the stretch. You got to think, between last play and this play, if they didn't get out of bounds last play, it already would have been the fourth quarter. But it looks like you think there's a flag down here.
Yep, it looks like it's going to be another holding call here on Lee Summit West. So initially we thought it was a first down, but the flag was thrown pretty much at the end of the play, and it was a late holding call for the Titans offense. So it won't be a first down, but
yeah,
it'll push them
as
back.
As we look at this Titans offensive
48.
line, you've mentioned it earlier, they just are so young. Honey, the sophomore, Brock's also a sophomore. They got two seniors, but just a lot of young players on this offensive line, and it's showing extremely in this one. Although I know some of these guys got reps last year, so some of these guys, even though they are a sophomore, this is not their first year as a starter.
And Rollison again gets the call past midfield as he gets all the way up to the Liberty North 47. And that'll bring the clock down to triple zeros here in the third quarter, as we have 12 more minutes of football to play here at Lee Summit West. The Liberty North Eagles lead it big here, up by 23 points on the road. And again, Liberty North looking for their first win of the 2025 season. And Lee Summit West looking to create some sort of a miraculous comeback here with 12 more minutes to go in this ball game. We'll go ahead and step aside for a brief commercial break. We'll be back momentarily. You are watching Missouri High School football on 810varsity.com.
Tiki Taco, Tiki Taco. Tacos, burritos, nachos, and bowls. Fresh frozen drinks, ice cold beer, and desserts. Tiki Taco, Tiki Taco.
And we welcome you back to our live coverage of Missouri High School football right here on 810varsity.com. My name is Austin Eckert. Alongside with me is Cade Ricketts. Liberty North leads it by 23 points on the road against Lee Summit West as the Titans look to drive down the field to get their first points of the ball game. and to try to draw up some sort of a miraculous comeback, as I mentioned before the break, as Rollison keeps it up the middle, and he'll get enough for the first down.
Yeah, back-to-back great carries there by Rollison. I mean, we talked about it a little bit ago. The Titans have not been able to get the run game going, but the last play, 8-yard run by Rollison. This time, they got a solid about 4 or 5 yard run, and they're getting the run going as they're going to check to the sideline. Obviously, going to audible here, not liking the look.
Two receivers split out wide to the far side, one out to the near side. Rollison again gets the call, bouncing outside, gets all the way up to the 36. As we have some whistles blown at the end of the play, and I'm not sure if there's a flag thrown or what it might be, but we do have a little bit of a stoppage of play. It looks like
The helmet came off.
off. Yep. So Rollison will check out of the game after he lost his helmet.
Another solid run, though, by Rollison. So Titans getting the run game going late in this one. Unfortunately, running the ball, that's going to take a lot of time off the clock when they need to get some points quick.
Similar formation as the previous play. Edwards fakes the handoff. Fires one to the near side. It's batted down and incomplete. Liberty North fell on top of the ball. They probably thought it was a fumble, but they're going to rule it incomplete. It'll bring up.
Yeah, I don't know if Edwards just
third down.
just trying to skip that one in there for an incomplete, avoid the sack, not get the intentional grounding. I mean, as soon as he ran the play action, faked the handoff to his running back, he looked up and he had two Eagles right in front of him ready to take him down. So a smart play there by Edwards just to avoid that sack.
3rd down and 5 at the Liberty North 37. This is probably the most important 3rd down conversion here for Lee Summit West, as Harris drops this pass incomplete as the ball bounced in and out of his hands. And now 4th down and 5 coming up here with 11:19 to go in this ball game. And I would have to imagine, Cade, Lee Summit West is going to have to go for it.
Yeah, and I got to say, Cortland Miller, what a play there. I mean, they sent a blitz, and they had one guy, Harris, open on the little the screenplay. If he gets that out, he's going to get some yardage. But one guy on that defense, one of those blitzers, realized it's simple. He's like, man, I got through here way too easily. What's going on? He looked around, and Miller was able to find the guy, Harris, on the screenplay and kind of blow that entire play up.
So 4th and 5 coming up for Lee Summit West. Edwards dropping back to pass. Tipped up in the air, incomplete. And the Eagles get a stop on defense here early in the 4th quarter. It's a turnover on downs.
Yeah, tough break there for the Titans. Obviously not what you want on a big 4th down play, but that's the result. Skipped in there, was tipped by the linebacker, and like you said, it could have been possibly intercepted. When those linebackers jump up there and put their fingers on the ball and it goes up, you don't know where it's going to land, so falls harmlessly to the ground for the Titans. But like you said, still a turnover on downs. Unfortunate break there for Lee Summit West as they find themselves down 23-0 with 11 minutes to go in the 4th quarter, and they're just simply running out of opportunities.
Well, you can see the Lee Summit West defense, wasting no time getting back out on the field, and hopefully they were able to get some sort of a breather, because on the previous drive for Liberty North, they just ran it down their throats. So hopefully, if you're Lee Summit West, you want to slow down the run game, and that will certainly help. Met in the backfield for a loss of 3.
Yeah, I mean, great play design there by that West defense. That's just the defensive coordinator being like, guys, we got to stop the run. Every play they ran it last drive. Really, I don't know if they completed one pass on their previous drive that ended in a touchdown for Cheatham. And that time it was an all-out blitz. They know they're just trying to take the time off the clock here. They know they're just trying to get out of here with a win. And sending the blitz there was the exact right play call at the right time. It's going to bring up a 2nd and long.
2 receivers lined up in the slot, one out to the outside as another handoff play up to the left side, bouncing out of a couple of defenders, gets close to the 1st down marker. It's going to be close, as this time Tony Cherry gets the call, and the officials are going to mark him down probably right at the 1st down marker. They're going to give him enough for the 1st down, so Cherry picks up a big run.
Yeah, I mean, broke at least 2 or 3 tackles, just powering forward, especially for Cherry. He's a little bit more of the undersized running back in their backfield, so impressive run there.
And there's a fumble as it'll be fouled on top on, and it could have easily been a disaster as Isaac Hamilton tried to fake the handoff. It looked like a designed quarterback run, but Hamilton falls on top of his own fumble and keeps the drive alive for the Eagles.
There's an old adage that people say when you have two quarterbacks, you have no quarterbacks, and that is just not the case for this Liberty North team. I mean, we've talked about it all night. Hamilton and Smith, both of their quarterbacks, they've both seen, I would say, what do you say, about even playing time so far in this one, and they both have made the most of it. Unfortunate break there on the mishandled snap, but it's been a really impressive game for both their quarterbacks. Hamilton had the interception early, but since then it's been positive plays by both of them.
And Hamilton's going to hand it off to the right side, and he'll go down at the 45 for a gain of 1. There is a flag thrown, and the flag was thrown in the middle of the play. We'll see if this will be coming back on Liberty North once again. The penalties have just been flying left and right for both teams all night long.
Yeah, Patillo, the right end for West, got in there and made a big-time tackle, but they're going to hand him for a face mask. So a bad penalty will go against the Titans, and that's going to move Liberty North forward even when they're losing yards.
So the penalty is actually going to help out Liberty North here early on in the fourth quarter. And it's going to be an automatic first down. Not what you want if you're Lee Summit West as you're trying to fight your way back into this ball game. And the penalty,
yeah, it would have been a big third down for the Titans to try to step up. Instead, like you said, it's an automatic first down, and that's going to cost them at least 2 or 3 more minutes of this football game.
Trips out to the near side as a handoff play will be, oh my goodness, he somersaulted his way up to the 32-yard line. He got tackled right at the feet, and his feet went up high in the air, but thank goodness he was all right. I mean, Tony Cherry, he went flying on that run.
A.J. Lindsey with a big-time hit there coming out of the secondary. But like you said, Cherry able to, impressively for me, hold on to the football because, you take a hit like that, usually the first thing you see is the ball pops out. So way to hold on to that football, young man, and wait to pick up some positive yards.
Trips out to the far side this time here on 2nd and short at the Lee Summit West 32. Pass is caught at the 25, and he'll fight his way past the 20, and he'll go down at the 18, and the Eagles are inside the red zone once again.
Yeah, another positive play out of this Liberty North offense as they have just been rolling these last 2 drives. They can do no wrong, running the ball for positive yards every time, passing it, finding success, and seamlessly everything they do. So keep that ball moving, and it's going to set up a nice 1st and 10 now for them near the 20-yard line.
1st and 10 at the 19 with 8:18 to go in this game. 23-0, a commanding lead here for Liberty North on the road. A tight end will motion as another handoff play will be really brought up all the way to the 12. A gain of 7. So 2nd and short, once again, coming up for Liberty North. And on these 2nd and short situations, they've been going to the run game pretty much every single time. We haven't seen a lot of play action. It's just been straight up, up the gut, running the football. Just, hard-nosed football here for Liberty North in the second half.
When you can pick up almost 6 yards every time you run the football, there's no reason to go away from it. And that's exactly like you're right. Liberty North, they are just pounding the rock late in this game.
And another handoff play, not much there. It's going to be close at the first down marker. We'll see if it'll be enough.
Yeah, it's going to be right there. If not, it's going to be a 3rd and short. And honestly, if you're the Titans, granted this one's probably more than likely over with 7.5 minutes, to go down 23-0. But if they don't give them the first down there, that's just one more time they can run the ball. One more time they can take another 40 seconds off the clock. So, but it does, they're going to give them the 1st and goal.
So 1st and goal coming up for Liberty North as they once again try to punch it into the end zone as they look to make a statement here on the road, which they've already have so far, up by 23 points. Just over 7 minutes to go here in this ball game. Proden will motion as Hamilton will hand it off once again. Nothing going right there. And I'm not sure if he got back to the line of scrimmage. If not, he'll lose about a yard or 2.
Yeah, nowhere to go with that run. Just blown up from the point of attack by that interior of that Titans defense. So stopping the run, one of the successful plays for this Titans defense so far in this one. A little while ago they had back-to-back times they kind of blew up the run, and then a penalty moved the first down for Liberty North. And since then, Liberty North has been able to find success on most of their offensive play calls. That time, not so much.
Edward Massey now checking into the game at running back for Liberty North in place of Tony Cherry, 2nd and goal at the 10. Hamilton hands it off up the middle, and he's going to be close to the goal line. He's going to be stopped just short at the 2, so 3rd and goal at the 2-yard line. And a powerful run puts the Eagles 2 yards outside the goal line as they look to make it 29-0 here with just over 6 minutes to go. We're halfway through the 4th. 2 receivers split out wide to the far side, 1 out to the near side. And Hamilton's going to keep it himself. He's going to bounce outside to the left side, breaks a tackle into the end zone. Touchdown, Liberty North.
Yeah, what a run there by Hamilton, making the initial man miss. A nice stiff arm in there, just kind of bouncing off of people into the end zone. The quarterback running like a running back there, and he'll just will himself into the end zone. And that will grow this lead now, like you said, 29-0. An unfortunate game for the Titans, coming off of a big win last week at Oak Park. Not going to be the case here at home. Is really so far for the Titans, it seems like they've a lot better on the road than they have been playing at home.
29-0. Liberty North up big here on the road with not much time left to go in this game. Here's the snap of the hold. The kick is up, and it is through the uprights for Matthew Dembski. And now Liberty North, they lead it 30-0 here on the road. And Isaac Hamilton runs it in for his 2nd touchdown of the evening. Earlier in the game, he was able to punch it in for the first points of the game for either side from 11 yards out to make it 7-0. And now, here with 5:44 to go in the 4th quarter, Isaac Hamilton runs it in from 2 yards out to make our score. Liberty North 30, Lee Summit West nothing. We'll go ahead and step aside for a brief commercial break. We'll be back here in just a moment. We're here in the 4th quarter with 5:44 to go in the ballgame.
Does it roll? Does it swing? Does it have a busted spring? If you call Door Systems, we have everything. That's 524-8535. Ask for me, Dory. That'll get you 10% off, you know. Hey, I'm no ding-dong. Call us. Don't forget the 816, silly. Ask for me, Dory.
And we welcome you back to our live coverage of Missouri high school football right here on A10varsity.com as Matthew Dembski gets ready to kick this one away here with 5:44 to go here in the 4th quarter. A commanding lead here for the Eagles. And as for the Titans, it just hasn't been their night here in week 3. As Dembski is going to pooch kick this one, it'll be fielded back at the 40-yard line. Nice catch there by the Titans upman. And Lee Summit West will start their next drive at their own 40-yard line, so they'll have pretty good field position. And I got to say at this point, partner, 30-0 with just over 5 minutes to go in this game. Not a lot of time to come up with a miraculous comeback. It's really hard to put up 30 points in 5 minutes. I mean, you have to have all the luck kind of bounce your way, but Liberty North, they've been very impressive tonight, and you can tell that they're very frustrated by what happened last weekend, and they've taken out their pent-up anger and frustration here on the road, and they lead it here 30-0. Just from your perspective, because I know you followed Lee Summit West for quite some time now, just here with 5:44 to go in the game, the offense for Lee Summit West just hasn't been rolling. What do you think the problem has been tonight? We talked about the penalties, but what do you think else is alluding to that?
Well, the penalties definitely play a part in it. Absolutely. It's a drive killing when you're moving the ball and you get a massive penalty, but it's not a lot of time for plays that develop, unfortunately, for the Titans. They want to get into some of these trick plays or play actions, and they just don't have the time. Edwards is under a lot of pressure, and then sometimes on the flip side of that, Edwards also creates the pressure, not staying in the pocket, not just kind of sitting through it, trying to find something downfield.
Play action. Edwards heaves one down the near sideline. It's caught by Harris at the 10, at the 5, into the end zone. Touchdown, Lee Summit West. Oh, man, what a throw by Dawson Edwards.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely laser by Dawson Edwards, finding his number one target, Chris Harris, downfield, and he just let it rip. And there's that cannon going off. Startling some of the fans here that maybe were falling asleep in this one, but that'll wake them up. A nice play there. Like you said, they need everything to go their way. You can't start any better than that. Unfortunately, I don't think it's going to change the outcome of this game, but for the Titans, there's that explosiveness they have. I mean, Edwards did have enough time there to get that one downfield, and obviously Harris has speed. From the first play of the game, they tried to almost hit that same exact play and didn't. They just didn't get it, and they never really went back to it. Finally, they go back to a deep shot downfield. Edwards throws a great pass, and Harris with a great catch and run. And I don't know if you saw it. Harris caught that stumbling. I thought he was going to fall down. Way to go, kid, to keep your footing and rush all the way into the end zone. Big-time play there by Lee Summit West.
Well, despite how this game has gone, Lee Summit West will definitely feel good about that play whenever they go back and watch the film later on. And obviously, that'll be something to build off of for this Lee Summit West offense here on a tough night here at home. Chris Harris puts the Titans on the board here with 5:36 to go here in the fourth quarter. We'll go ahead and step aside for a brief commercial break. We'll be back here in just a moment.
Tiki-taka, tiki-taka. Tacos, burritos, nachos, and bowls. Fresh frozen drinks as cold beer and desserts. Tiki-taka, tiki-taka.
Welcome you back to our live coverage of Missouri High School football right here on 810varsity.com. Lee Summit West, they finally get on the board here with 5.5 minutes almost to go here in the fourth quarter. 30-7 is our score, and it'll be interesting to see what Lee Summit West does here on the kickoff. We'll see if maybe they can kick it short or try to get the ball back. As Brenton will pooch kick this one. It'll take a bounce right before the 25, and it will go out of bounds. And there's the flag thrown, so Liberty North will get the ball at their own 40.
Yeah, an interesting kick there as it was almost headed directly out of bounds. It did skip once in bounds before it found its way to the sideline, but that'll be good starting position for Liberty North. I'll be actually curious to see if Liberty North sticks with that first team, if they're going to put in the backups here. Still 5:36 to go. But up 30-7 sometimes is where you see coaches of some of those JV guys get some varsity reps.
So as you can see here, Lee Summit West wasting no time getting their defense out on the field. But if you're Lee Summit West, I mean, still a lot of ground to cover, with limited time left. But, I mean, if you're Lee Summit West, I mean, are you thinking maybe waste all three of your timeouts and try to get a stop and maybe get the ball back? I'm not quite sure. Obviously, you're down by a few possessions. So it'll be interesting to see what happens here on this next drive here for Liberty North. And they've been rolling here on offense, with both Isaac Hamilton and Brennan Smith in the game at quarterback. Running the football, down Lee Summit West throat all night long, especially with Zamora Cheatham and Tony Cherry getting the calls. And, you also see a mix of Edward Massey getting the calls as well. This time, Tony Cherry gets the call as he'll only get a gain of 3.
Yeah, Cherry's been running really well ever since they let. I think they're letting. My best guess is they're letting Cheatham. He's probably okay. They're just letting him sit out the rest of this game. There's no reason up 30-7 to put your best player out there when obviously he got dinged up a little bit earlier. He came back in, had a really good drive, gave them another touchdown, set him down, get him ready for next week. For them, obviously they're going to be 1-2 in the season, so they need to find some wins. But no, back to your last question on the timeouts. I think you save them. I think you kind of see what happens here, and if you need them late, you got them.
Another handoff play, nowhere to go as the pressure is met immediately right before he got to the line of scrimmage as Cherry got the call again. And there was some whistles blown at the end of the play as we'll have a timeout on the field as Lee Summit West will use one of their first of 3 timeouts here in the second half with 4 minutes and 40 seconds to go.
That answers your question. They're going to go to the timeouts now. Like I was saying, I just would have saved them for later. I mean, it's still 30-7. I think using your timeouts now, I get it's going to leave more time on the clock, but I think I'd like to have those. Maybe if you get the stop here, find a score, get the onside kick, something to just try to get momentum going. You got them late if something miraculous happens. But I also get this because it's a long shot like anything that's going to happen. So you might as well just give your offense as many guaranteed plays as you can.
So we'll just keep it on the air for now here with, again, 4:40 to go here in the fourth quarter. And it's just been pure dominance from Liberty North all game long. And then you saw on the previous drive for Lisa and West, they finally got on the board thanks to a 60-yard touchdown from Dawson Edwards to Chris Harris, the speedster, lining up at wide receiver for Lisa West. And, like we've been talking about, Lisa West, they just haven't found their groove. I mean, they clearly found it early last week, but this defense for Liberty North, they've been bringing a lot of pressure, especially up against Dawson Edwards. And Kate, you've been talking about it a little bit. I mean, and the pressure has been working to Liberty North's favor, and that's been, some of the storylines tonight. And the penalties have also been flying left and right here for both teams, but Liberty North, they lead it by 23 here with 4:40 to go in the fourth quarter. We resume play. 3rd and 11, another handoff play. Only a gain of a few yards. So they'll bring up 4th down. And we'll see Isaac Hamilton stay on the field as he'll get ready to punt
I'm not
this one
sure
away.
Hamilton has punted it in the second half. I mean, I'm trying to remember if he's had a punt, maybe one. But this offense for the Eagles has been just moving at a great click here in the second half. One of their very few punts in the second half of football. And I think one of the main reasons they're punting it away is because they're so content with this lead. And I mean, those last couple of play calls, they weren't to get first downs. They were just to keep the clock moving, force the Titans to waste whatever timeouts they have left. So they'll stop the clock one more time here. With this timeout, I think it'd be a great time to look at just some of the scores around.
Yeah.
So Blue Springs South is on top of the Lee Summit Tigers 31-7. Park Hill Trojans are beating the Staley Falcons 23-7. See some other ones you guys might be interested in. Rockers is on top of Olathe Northeast 35-14. That's a big one there. Ray-Peck trails Blue Springs 24-7. Lee Summit North, it trails the Mill Valley Jaguars, are on top 21-13 over Lee Summit North.
My alma mater.
There you go. So I had to throw that one in there for you.
Well, obviously, when you talk about Lee Summit North, they've got a lot going on over there, obviously, and coaching changes and just not the start that they wanted to this 2025 season.
Yeah, I mean, they obviously
they can still get on the right track.
The coaching changes, stuff like that, it's going to affect you, but absolutely they can still get on the right track. And I got to throw one here, one of my favorite Missouri high school mascots. I spent some time up at Northwest. That's where I went to college.
Yep.
And the Maryville Spoof Hounds up 31-7.
There you go.
On Chillicothe Hornets. I like.
What a mascot! I had never heard of them before.
Spoof Hounds, exactly. So.
Spoof Hounds. I have to see if that's an actual dog breed or not. It might be fake, but I'll have to look that up later.
Might be taking one out of the Kansas Jayhawks page there with the mythical animals.
Hey, Kansas Jayhawks are real, and I'll get the glasses out and we can have a little history lesson, if you will. But it'll be fair caught back at the 28. I mean, hey, the Jayhawks. It may not be a real bird, but
I'm not saying the person's not. I mean, there was a such thing as a Jayhawk, but I've never seen a red, blue, and yellow bird in my life.
Yeah, well, me neither, but. But there's a specific type of bird, Cade, that I've seen lately. I don't know if it's a toucan or what it is, but it's in a foreign country. I think it's down in South America, and I forgot the name. It's very important to give out the name of the animal, obviously, for everybody listening and watching to look up and verify that on my behalf. Does it
resemble a Jayhawk? Is that what you're getting at here?
It looks almost exactly like a Jayhawk. As Edwards fires this one over the middle, it's batted up in the air, incomplete, in and out of the hands of his intended receiver. As
a big hit there,
slow to get up.
Trying to make that play. Looks like he's holding his groin a little bit. Hopefully he's all right. And kind of run that one off. But Edwards, I mean, he's got some arm strength. I mean, on that touchdown pass a second ago right there, that is some power behind that throw, just lasering it in there late in this game. I mean, I think this is something that the Titans need to build on maybe into next week, just taking these shots downfield when they're there.
As Edwards tried to connect with Life Byers right at midfield. Incomplete pass brings up 2nd and 10 with 4:01 to go in the game. Edwards rolling out to the near side. He's got some open turf in front of him. He's going to keep it himself. He's past midfield to the 45, to the 40, to the 30, down the near sideline, and he'll go out of bounds right before the 25.
What a big-time run by the quarterback. I mean, he might be 6'5", 225 pounds, but that was a little bit of speed there from him. That is a massive guy to take down. I can't imagine being about a 5'10 safety running at a 6'5", 225. You're going to make it what we call a business decision before you go try to make that tackle. But a nice run there by the Titans quarterback, and that's going to put them now into enemy territory.
So 1st and 10 at the 29-yard line of Liberty North. Edwards sends a receiver in motion. Wide open. It's caught at the 20, and he'll hurl his way down to the 15.
Big-time play there by the Titans. Corey Lyles, the running back on the motion, kind of just snuck out of the backfield, and he was wide open, like you said.
Corey Lyles on the reception. 1st and 10 as Edwards fires this pass, and it's intercepted at the 5-yard line. He'll take it all the way back. Is he going to escape a defender? He's past midfield at the 40, at the 35, still on his feet. And he'll get pushed out of bounds at the 25. I thought he was gone, but the wide receiver, came up right behind him and was able to track him down with the touchdown-saving tackle at the Lee Summit West 25. There is a late flag thrown at the end of the play. We'll see what the flag is thrown for.
Yeah, I don't think that flag is going to erase the interception there. I mean, just a tough game for the Titans. Dawson Edwards trying to find anybody open there late in this game, trying to find any points. And he just kind of slings that one in there, aired pass, jump out of the corner, and a great return all the way down to about the 40-yard line before the penalty. So we'll see what that does to the marking. But if this game wasn't already over, that definitely is going to put a night capper on this one, as I don't see – there's just no real way the Titans can win this one. What a great game, though, by Liberty North and their defense coming up one more time, getting the big stop there. I mean, that's a red zone stop for the Eagles.
So it's going to be unsportsmanlike conduct on Liberty North. I think there was just extracurricular activity going on at the end of the play that the officials saw. I don't know if it was pushing and shoving or just the sideline celebrating, but I was trying to figure out what the Lee Summit West student section was chanting. I wasn't quite sure, but after the unsportsmanlike penalty, it'll push Liberty North back at the Lee Summit West 40. Originally, they were all the way up to the Lee Summit West 25 after the interception, but now they'll bring up 1st and 10 at the West 40-yard line. 3:26 to go in this game. 23-point lead here for Liberty North. On the jet sweep, trying to find an opening, and he'll get pushed out of bounds at the 32. And Jackson Proder gets close to the first down marker, but he'll be just 2 yards short of that first down marker. It'll bring up 2nd and 2.
I like the play call there by Liberty North. I mean, the Titans are going to walk that many guys down on the line of scrimmage. You're not going to really want to run right at them, so get something moving into your outside, get a little bit of separation and a little bit of space. Instead of running the ball there for 2 or 3 yards up the middle, you're going to get 7 or 8 if you can get that edge, and that's exactly what happened, and that'll set up a 2nd and short now for Liberty North.
Brent Smith in the game at quarterback for Liberty North. One receiver split out wide on both sides. Tony Cherry lining up to Smith's left. And a handoff play past the 25, all the way up to the 20. Still on his feet. He'll get brought down at the 19. And Liberty North is in the red zone once again.
Another great run there. And I think at this point, this Titans defense is just, that'll just do it. I mean, hands on hips, they're just exhausted. It'll be interesting to see if Liberty North wants to punch this one in the end zone one more time, or if they're just going to go ahead and run out the remainder of this about just under 3 minutes.
At least on the West, they only have 1 timeout remaining, so I don't know if they're going to use that timeout here in these final 3 minutes. But Liberty North, they're going to use as much of the clock as they can.
Yeah, a lot of substitutions here, so I'll be interested to see what this play is.
And we have a new quarterback in the game. Eli Goucher, the senior quarterback, wearing number 13 behind his jersey, comes into the game at quarterback for Liberty North along many other substitutions, as we'll have a timeout on the field as Liberty North will use their first of 3 timeouts here with 2 minutes and 22 seconds to go. Here in the fourth quarter, we'll go ahead and step aside for a brief commercial break. Liberty North leads it 30-7, a 23-point lead for the Eagles here on the road.
Does it roll? Does it swing? Does it have a busted spring? If you call Door Systems, we have everything. That's 524-8535. Ask for me, Dory. That'll get you 10% off, you know. Hey, I'm no ding-dong. Call us. Don't forget the 816, silly. Ask for me, Dory.
Hello, and we welcome you back to our live coverage of Missouri High School football on A10varsity.com. I'm Austin Eckert. Alongside with me is Cade Ricketts, and we certainly want to take this time to thank you all for tuning in here on this Friday evening. Dominating performance here from Liberty North on the road, looking for their first win of the season. Nothing going right there. Tackled behind the line of scrimmage for a loss of 3. And, partner, I just think Liberty North is going to draw out the rest of this clock. I mean, unless Lee Summit West uses one of their last timeout, rather, here with just over 2 minutes to go. Obviously, with high school football, there's no 2-minute warning, so you don't have an extra timeout in your pocket to use, obviously, in that situation. But
Yeah, I think at this point I always kind of like to look at what is forward for these teams. So next week, Lee Summit West will be back at home one more time. So back-to-back home games for the Titans. They will be going against Rockers. Rockers, looks like I think earlier they're leading their game. So they'll be coming in off of a win. We'll see if the Titans can get back to 500. 1-1 on the season. They'll drop to 1-2. And next week we'll see if they can get back to 2-2. On the flip side of that, for Liberty North, they're 0-2 on the season after their losses at Blue Springs South at home against Liberty. But they'll be on the road, they'll be back home one more time for Lee Summit. So they beat West this week. They'll try to see if they can beat the Tigers next week as they continue their journey to see if they can beat all the Lee Summit teams. They get to play all 3 of them. They got North a little bit later on their schedule. So that is what these teams have going forward.
Well, I'll tell you what, I went and called Rockhurst's game at home last week against Raymore Peculiar, and it was just a dominating performance from Rockhurst. And, there wasn't a whole lot of separation in that first half, but boy, in that second half, Rockhurst really created that separation. They were able to get an early touchdown in the third quarter to make it 17-0, I believe, if I remember correctly. And Rockhurst, they got a pick 6 at the very end of the game. You would think that, if you were to intercept a pass, with a few seconds left to go in the game and you're up big, you would just, take a knee and call it good. But Rockers, they decided to run up the scoreboard and tack on 6 more.
If you're that kid, how many opportunities are you going to have to get a pick 6 in your high school career? I mean, put that thing on the highlight tape. So I don't blame them for housing it. I bet Rockers, it sounds like they dominated that game, but I can tell you one thing Ray Peck had better than Rockers in that game. Uniforms. There's no way Ray Peck didn't look better on the field than Rockers. They've rocking those same uniforms for a while, kind of the same look. And Ray Peck's I know they got some sharp uniforms.
Yeah, no doubt about that. I mean, when you look at this uniform matchup, I mean, Liberty North, they're wearing their home gold uniforms here on the road. Lee Summit West wearing their all silver uniforms.
Looks like Liberty North now on this 4th and 4. They're going to go ahead and opt into a field goal here with about 56 seconds left to go. They have been true on a lot of these tonight. We'll see if they can get one more as their special teams unit has been sharp.
Matthew Dembski on to attempt the field goal here with 56 seconds to go. Here's the snap, the hole, the kick is up. The line drive kick, no good, wide to the left.
Yeah, that one just didn't look clean all the way. Kind of the ball was kind of fluttering through the air. He's had some sharp kicks, so obviously there was definitely a hitch somewhere along that snap, hold, and kick. That one, like I said, on the no good. Leave the score here at 30-7 as the Titans will more than likely just come out here and run the ball a few times, and that will end this game.
Well, it's just interesting. Last week put up 54 points. You only put up 13 points in total in 2 home games so far this season for Lee Summit West. Clearly they got something going last week, but Liberty North's defense has been flying around all night long, making plays left and right, creating pressure up front. I mean, their defensive front, they've been winning the battle all night long. And, there have been some moments where you saw some flashes from the Lee Summit West offense, but this front line for Liberty North just dominating all night long. I mean, you look at, who they have up front, Carlos Clark, Brady Robinson, and Caleb Williamson. All those guys have been making plays, and this pass is dropped in incomplete, and it will bring up 2nd and 10 at the 20 here with 47.5 seconds to go in this ball game. And like you say, big rivalry game coming up next week for Lee Summit West here at home, so an opportunity to bounce back and get yourself your first home victory of the season, And as far as for Liberty North, you get your first win of the season. They play Lee Summit at home next week. Liberty North does. And Lee Summit West will play Rockhurst at home.
So not quite a rivalry game. But, I mean, if I'm being honest, from back in my times playing, you always wanted to beat Rockhurst. That's the private school. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Those guys are private. You want to win that one. So, needless to say, they'll definitely get up for that game. But, Austin, I hate to say it, man. I'm starting to think, are we the bad luck for the Titans? Because 6 points week 1, 7 points this week. And the 1 week we weren't on their assignment, how many did they score?
Herrera fires this one down the near sideline. It's caught the 35, still on his feet. 20, 15, 10, 5, touchdown, Lee Summit West. I'll tell you what, I mean, that touchdown may not have won you the game and brought you the comeback that you wanted. However, you could definitely build off of that type of play. And, we've seen 2 big touchdown passes here from Dawson Edwards, and this time Noah Herrera.
Yeah, how about
on
Herrera?
The long touchdown.
Coming in cold off the bench and throwing a laser downfield. That's got to feel good.
Definitely feels good indeed if you're Lee Summit West, just trying to end the game on a positive note while it hasn't been your night. 11.2 seconds to go in this game. Here's the snap, the hold. The extra point is up and through the uprights. So 30-14 is now our score. And obviously, no time left here for Lee Summit West to come back and win this game. But, like I said earlier about the earlier touchdown from Edwards to Harris, obviously that's something that Lee Summit West can build off of. When they go back and watch the film here in a couple of days, obviously, they'll look at both of these plays from both Edwards and Herrera, and they can build off of it. But other than that, I mean, the problems loom here for West. Again, they got a tough matchup coming up next week against Rockhurst here at home.
I think a big thing will be for me next week's in that Rockhurst game is just starting off a lot cleaner than they did in this one. Early penalties on those first couple opening drives stopped both of them kind of dead in their tracks. I think it's really hard to get any kind of rhythm or movement going as an offense when you're constantly getting called for holding penalties or false start penalties, especially when on those first 2 drives, one of them came on a 3rd and short. They could have had an easy first down and kept that drive alive. The penalty killed it, led to a sack, and then an unfortunate punt for the Titans. So I think it's really important to just clean up the penalties in the next week. They've had a lot of penalties called on them in this one. And then up front, working on your assignments, make sure the communication up front's a little bit better to give your quarterback a little bit more time, because we've seen when the quarterbacks for the Titans have the time to launch that ball downfield, good things happen.
So now Lee Summit West will get ready to kick it away. Truman Britton getting ready to kick it back away to the Eagles. And an onside kick will be fielded at the Liberty North 49-yard line, and that'll about wrap it up here at Lee Summit West, as Liberty North will take the field here on offense one last time, and likely they'll just take a knee and call it a day. Liberty North, they get their first victory of the season here on the road after a tough outing against their arch rivals Liberty, and they'll move on to 1-2 on the season. Much like Lee Summit West, they'll also move on to 1-2. Big matchups coming up next week for both teams. And, like I said, the offense, they were rolling last week, put up 54 points, Lee Summit West. And here in 2 home games, they've only put up, make it now 20 points. I said 13 earlier, now it's 20. So, the West offense, they just got to get, got to figure it out here in these next couple of days and get ready for next week against Rockhurst, who will be coming in here, ready to play, and they're going up against a very physical defense. I really got to see that Rockhurst defense firsthand, and And, I mean, they were making plays left and right and got that interception return at the end of the game. And that's going to wrap it up here at Lee Summit West. Liberty North gets their first win of the 2025 season. Your final score, Liberty North 30, Lee Summit West 14. Well, it was just a dominating performance from Liberty North. Lee Summit West, they had some flashes tonight, but it just wasn't enough. Liberty North made more plays than Lee Summit West did on all three sides of the ball. And
yeah, I mean, I think for the Titans, they just had a hard time really getting anything going, whether it was throwing the ball or running the ball. They just all kind of phases. When they ran the ball for positive yards, there was a penalty. When they threw the ball, and a lot of times you feel like you're just kind of watching Edwards scramble for his life in the backfield and then kind of just throwing some pass up off his back foot, hoping for anything to land. And that's just not going to win you very many football games. So some stuff they need to clean up on offense and penalty-wise too. But overall, I love that they were able to end it with a couple of big touchdowns in the fourth quarter. Dawson Edwards had one. And then the third backup quarterback comes in. He delivered a nice pass downfield, too. So 2 touchdowns late for the Titans to put some points up on the board, something to build on in the next week. Not quite the 50-plus points they put up from a week ago, but just being able to score, feel comfortable at home. And like you said, Rockers coming in is always a very physical team. They always are a tough opponent, no matter what year it is. So we'll have a big assignment to try to get back to 500. And on the flip side of that, for Liberty North, I think they just played 2 really good teams to start the season. I think this team has some success in their future. I think this will definitely be a bounce back for them, a wake-up call for their team that they can win games, something to build on in the next week. And like I said, they take Lee Summit on a week from now, so we'll see if they can handle business against the other Lee Summit.
Well, Rockhurst, they picked up the victory on the road against Olathe North. They won that game 35-14. And as far as Liberty North's opponent next week, the Lee Summit Tigers, still not sure what the final score ended up being against Blue Springs South at home. Obviously, if you want to find that for me real quick before we end it here at Lee Summit West, we can relay that to you guys. But again, it's Lee Summit coming up at home for Liberty North, and here at home next week for Lee Summit West, it will be against the Rockhurst Hawklets. But do you have a reading on the final score for the Blue Springs South and Lee Summit game by chance?
Trying to find that one now for you, but like you said, another interesting thing is that Oak Park got a win. Oak Park beat Park Hill South, so just a week ago Oak Park obviously had a crazy game that didn't go in their favor, able to bounce back for Oak Park, so that's positive for them. Lee Summit North up 31-21 now on Mill Valley, so that game did a 180 because last time we talked about it, North was trailing. So they a little bit of a comeback there by the Broncos. And you were looking for the Lee Summit game.
Right.
And they are down, so 31-7, Blue Springs South.
Well, there you have it. So 31-7. I mean, Lee Summit will have to find a way to bounce back against a team that picked up a dominating victory here on the road for their first win of the 2025 season. Liberty North, they win it here against Lee Summit West on the road, 30-14, your final score. I'm Austin Eckert. Alongside with me is Cade Ricketts. Just really quickly before we wrap things up, thank you all so much for tuning in to tonight's broadcast. I know we had a hiccup before we got things going. We do apologize for the difficulty in trying to connect to the internet. I mean, that was the main issue that we were dealing with, but we finally got it up and going, and ever since towards the end of the first quarter, that's when we got it all figured out. So we appreciate your patience and understanding, and again, we do apologize for the technical difficulties that we had to begin this broadcast. But other than that, we hope you all enjoyed tonight's broadcast and hopefully enjoyed the game. It was a very exciting game, and as far as Liberty North, they'll be riding back home with smiles on their faces. And 2 really good matchups coming up here for both teams next week. I'm Austin Eckert. Alongside with me is Cade Ricketts. Thank you all so much for tuning in to A10varsity.com. Whether you're tuning in on the A10 Varsity website or on YouTube, thank you all so much for tuning in. We will see you all for the next one right here on A10varsity.com.